Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another Sunday conversation as usual. We have our youth here today. They're going to be facilitating today's conversation, so looking forward to that. We're going to be talking about relationships, and we're going to hear from the youth because I think as adults, we need to listen to the youth. I don't know if the adults know how to handle relationships, so I think we need to learn something from our youth today. But before I get started, I want to give a opening and welcome to Miss Tony Rochelle.
Happy Sunday, community. Welcome to both sides of the conversation. If this is your first time, you in for a treat. The youth is holding it down today about relationships. So y'all stay tuned. Call a friend and tell a friend to tune in because we got some stuff for y'all today.
All right. Very excited. We got our youth co-host that's going to be going over our award announcements and some of the things that's taking place in the community. But before we turn it over there, I want to first say, wow, what a phenomenal event today. I'm just making it back in from one of the amazing events put on by our Asian community, Stand Together SF. And we just honored to be a part of it with the Human Rights Commission, and just want to shout out John and the rest of the team and all of the folks that are working with us as we continue to try to find some solidarity in our community. There's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of efforts. But today, being a part of it, both sides of the conversation, the Human Rights Commission, great banquet, just to see amazing art and culture, that the unity that the Asian community have is just very powerful stuff. And again, we got a lot of work to do in our community, a lot of things that we got to do with organizing, being in solidarity, working with each other to help build up our community. But again, great event. Happy to be out there. Happy to be a part of it. We got a number of events that we're going to be working together with Stand Strong Asian SF, Stand Together SF, Together SF, and the Human Rights Commission. So we're looking forward to that. We're planning an Asian and Black cookout that's going to be happening. We'll get details out to the community. So that should be a great event as well. A number of things that we're doing to impact community. So just want to say, hey, we got things coming. Pay attention. That's what's going on. Also, just want to say yesterday was the funeral service. I was able to lay to rest my young cousin. And again, there's a lot of work that we got to do in our community. As community, we got to learn how we deal with each other in the community. We have something going on in our community that's just not right. And I think I've always said we have to go back to the basics. Our young folks, I think, are farther and farther disconnected from principles, morals, and values. And we're going to have a conversation about that, talking about how we engage in community, how we convene in spaces. The level of disrespect from the young people that I'm noticing is very, very, very disturbing to me. And, one thing about me, I'm about solutions. I'm also about working together. But we have definitely an issue with the level of respect in our community when it comes to families, elders, and how we treat each other and how we do things. So we're going to be having some conversations about that. But again, my condolences to all of the families who lost loved ones. I know this has been a tough time. There is a volcano of emotions and feelings that's going on in our city right now. Again, we had a number of shootings that took place over this weekend, yesterday and early this morning. We have a problem in our community that we got to address, and we got to hold our young people accountable as well as the elders in our community. But we got to do something. This stuff is getting out of control. And, I'm going to be partnering with Nate, a number of other community organizations. One of the problems, we have these community organizations that are coming to our community, advocating for resources to do violence prevention. And these folks are doing the work, and the accountability and the level of work that they say that they're doing in our community is just not impacting our community. So we're going to be putting together some events to work together as we try to find a way to put an end to this violence. Or to at least slow the violence down. But we got a lot of work when it comes to how we convene, how we work together in solidarity, and working with these young folks, because there's a big disconnect in our community of what respect is, what are some of these morals and values that people should have when they come around community, families, and folks. So again, a lot of work to do. It's not going to happen overnight. But it's a lot of work that we got to invest in our community. There's been a number of violence events that have taken place outside of this Bay Area as well. And we just got to continue to work with our young people. And the thing that I want to say the most is mental health services. All right. We had an opportunity with a number of young folks yesterday, and we missed it as a community. Again, these folks that get resources to do mental health, grievance services, and things of that nature, all the young people that spoke yesterday, all they kept talking about is how to cope and deal. They didn't know how to deal. Where is our emergency folks that's supposed to be coming in community, doing this mental health work, doing this grief work? It's just not happening. And they can't just keep coming to meetings saying, well, we're going to meet people where they at. Well, meeting people where they at, yesterday, they should have been there. We had a space full of young people. That's where our providers should have been. Again, this work is 24 hours, and we got to figure out these models and how we're going to impact our community. And I'll be the first on the front lines advocating for how we're going to do this, how we're going to make these changes. There's too many resources in our community. I'm not saying it's enough to combat all of the issues that we have, but there's a lot of resources coming to our community when we talk about mental health, when we talk about those support services, that I just don't think we're doing a great job as community organizations. And I'll take the lead and say, hey, we could do more as well. But again, there's a number of organizations who are funded fully to do this type of work that is not stepping up and doing what they're supposed to do. So we'll have more conversation about that. There's phone calls that will be made, and we will be convening, because it's my job as part of the rest of the community leaders to make sure that organizations are doing what they're supposed to do when our community is impacted. Those resources are there, and they should be stepping up, making sure those services are delivered to our community. So, with that being said, we got a lot of amazing things going. Just shout out to all of the people that continue to work with us and make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to impact community. There's been a number of Black businesses opened up in the 3rd Street corridor. So shout out to those amazing folks. We're going to be trying to get them on. There's things happening. So I don't want people to think just because of the violence and some of the things that are negatively impacting our community, there is not progress happening. There is progress happening, but it's going to take us all to work together. We need steady, consistent progress, and we got to make sure that we involve in our community and making sure that those are directly impacted are the ones who get the services and the resources so that we can move our communities forward. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Deja and Kendall as they're going to go through the community announcements as well as the community events and talk about some of the things that they're going to be talking about relationships today on today's segment. So with that being said, Deja and Kendall, I'm turning it over to you two.
Hi, John. Hi, Tony. So I'm going to start with the world events. You know, it's the youth show, so we had to do it a little bit different this week. So in the world this week, the Celtics have suspended their head coach, Ime Udoka, for the entire 2022-2023 season for the NBA this year. This comes after reports claim he engaged in an improper and consensual relationship with a female staff member. As many know, Udoka is engaged to actress Nia Long. Everybody knows Nia Long. It kind of got really popular this year while they were in the finals that he was engaged to Nia Long, their relationship and everything. So it was definitely big in headlines this week. Another big thing that happened with this week, last week-ish, PNB Rock was laid to rest this week. His name was Rakim Hashim Allen. That's his real government name. He was an African-American rapper from Philadelphia who was recently gunned down in Los Angeles, California at a local Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. PNB Rock was known for his chart-topping records, including a song that I know when I was in middle school, it's huge for us. Selfish by PNB Rock was huge. Misunderstood and Hanging Up My Jersey. Those are some of his most important, or not most important, most famous songs that he had. So RIP to him. We're praying for his family members and everything, hoping that everything is going okay. On a lighter note, Natalie Nunn, an executive producer from Zeus Network, has announced that Zeus is holding auditions in the Bay Area for Baddies West. Baddies is an up-and-coming show that became popular this past year, which plays off of the original Bad Girls Club, which a lot of people, you know, from my age group, probably younger and older, watched Bad Girls Club growing up. So that's huge. They come into the Bay Area for auditions and everything. The live auditions will be filmed and will air on Zeus Network. So those are all the updates we have. Now I'm gonna turn it over to Deja for the community updates. See what's going on in the community.
Hey community, y'all know me, Deja Ward. I go to Clark Atlanta University. I'll be doing the community announcements today. So first up, we have Boogaloo Robot Strutting and Rapping Workshop on Wednesday, September 28th from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Bayview Opera House. Then we also have the 2022 to 2023 second annual kindergartner kit, Get a Box of Educational and Enrichment Support. You can receive a free box by signing up on their website, or you can text the number below as well if you have any questions. It's also the San Francisco Smart Money Coaching for free confidential financial guidance for anyone living, working, or receiving services in San Francisco. There's also the Bayview Safety Swim and Splash. It's an 8-week session starting the week of September 12th to November 4th at the SF Recreation and Park Department's MLK Junior Pool. District 10 Safety Plans Violence Prevention Peace Rally is Saturday, October 1st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at District 6. There's a bunch of performances going on that day as well. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. Pathways to Party Investing in Economic Rights for All is October 6th and 7th. You can register at their website. The Pop-Up Village is Saturday, October 8th from 1 p.m. to 4:30 at the Bayview Opera House as well. And then there's Last but not least, there's the San Francisco Middle School Night Fair. You can learn about the application process and financial aid from San Francisco's areas like top schools. It's open to all 5th to 8th graders on Friday, October 14th, 6 p.m. to 7:30 at the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco and the Don Fisher Clubhouse. That's all I got for community announcements today.
And then I am back. Sorry, I don't think I ever introduced myself. I'm Kendall. I go to Xavier University of Louisiana, and I'm a sophomore this year. So now we have the BSOTC announcements, both sides of the conversation. Family, we are in search of volunteers. Our work is inspiring and feels good. We make a difference in the community with tangible results to show it. We are a highly driven group with high impact. We get the right things done the right way. Not only will you contribute to the community, but you'll also learn a lot and gain knowledge in your field of interest within the organization. We value your ideas and input. Sign up to be a volunteer today. You can make a difference. Support BSOTC while you shop online. Amazon Smile donates a 0.5% of your eligible purchases on Amazon to BSOTC. All you need to do is start your shopping at smile.amazon.com and choose BSOTC as your charitable organization, and the donation will be made at no extra cost to you. Don't forget. Go to all of our social media sites for more news on how to give back to your community and support BSOTC. Also, our upcoming shows, we have Hidden Gems every Tuesday. So next Tuesday, it's going to be September 27th at 7 p.m. And then Educational Thursdays, September 29th at 6 p.m. And that's all I have.
All right. Well, you guys can start introducing the youth, and y'all can go over y'all statistics about today's conversation. We'll just start bringing everybody up to the stage, and they can introduce themselves. First, we're going to bring up Devin Ward. We're going to bring up Nia. And then we have some guests here today. We'll bring them up as well. All right. If y'all want to read y'all statistics and jump into today's conversation, community, listen to the young folks. We're talking about relationships. We're going to hear what the young folks is thinking about relationships. So let's go. Who's going to read y'all stuff and get it going?
What's going on, community? First, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Devin Ward. I attend Xavier University, 20 years old, from the Bay Area, and we'll all go around and introduce ourselves. Go ahead, Nia. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nia. I go to Clark Atlanta University. I'm a little sick right now, so if I sound crazy, that's why. I got some water next to me, so if you see me drinking my water, don't say nothing.
We can go down to Darius.
I'm Darius. I'm 20 years old from Houston, Texas. I also go to Xavier University, Louisiana.
Messiah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Messiah, and I go to the University, Southern University in New Orleans.
Go ahead, Santi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Santi. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay. I'm 19, and I also attend Xavier University, Louisiana.
Yeah. So today we're talking about relationships, and as everybody knows, there's different types of relationships: business, casual, platonic, romantic, no matter where you take it. But today we're going to focus on building the healthy ones. And with that being said, I think it's very important in our community that we talk about this, because y'all know it's relationships all over the place. It's good role models, bad role models, the ones on Instagram, the ones on Twitter. So we're going to see how that plays an effect into our life and what we think about it. Kendall, you can go ahead and take it away with the statistics.
Thank you, Devin. All right, I got you with the statistics. It's not going to take too long, but we have 35% of teenagers aged 13 to 17 have experience with relationships. Most people in long-distance relationships visit each other twice a month or less. Positive relationship statistics indicate that almost 60% of long-distance relationships work out. So if you guys didn't know, more long-distance relationships work out than don't work out. And then we have dating statistics reveal that 45% of Tinder users use the app to boost confidence. Use Tinder to boost confidence. 63% of men in college claim they want to be in a relationship that is traditional rather than uncommitted. Over 66% of long distance relationships couples break up because they don't plan their future together. 40% of millennials claim they are not willing to settle for the wrong individual just to be in a relationship. Approximately 20% of men and 13% of women cheat. Statistics on relationships reveal that engaging in cyber sex and online flirting are the top most common online cheating behaviors. Romantic relationship statistics reveal that long distance couples send each other an average of 343 texts per week. And those are statistics that we have.
Yeah, I think those stats speak volumes. I'm definitely not willing to settle down with someone that I don't want to settle down with. So I agree with that one. But so let's start off the conversation and talk about chivalry. I think that's how you say it, right? Chivalry, and that is like the romantic things. If a male were to open the door for his girlfriend, or things of that nature, the car door, the providing things, flowers, is that still alive today? What do you guys think?
Personally, I think no. I think that a lot of guys, you have to reinforce that because they're not used to it. And sometimes, like, we forget to enforce it as ladies. It's funny because one of my friends, both of my male friends, one of them is gay, one of them is straight. My gay friend and my best friend, they both open the doors for me as well as my dad. So it's like I'm always around my friends. So when I'm around a dude or whatever, it's just kind of like I'll be expecting that because my friends and my father does it. So when I don't get that, I'll be like so quick to challenge that behavior. And yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's like a generational thing of why people tend like your male friends tend to do that, or do you think it's kind of just something that everybody should know? Or this question goes to everybody too, not just Messiah.
Um, I was kind of gonna kind of not disagree, but like just kind of add. But I feel like it is situational. So, like just coming from the Bay Area, like a lot of the men don't practice those things. But then coming to the South and seeing, like dealing with these men down here, like it's taught to them. So, it definitely is generational, but it also is kind of like your upbringing. So if your parents or your grandparents are teaching you how to deal with women this way or deal with whoever this way, then that's all you know. If not, then it kind of is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bouncing off of that. Oh,
uh,
yeah, bouncing off what she said. Well, being from Texas, like I wouldn't say it's chivalry. It kind of just is common courtesy. Like I'll hold the door open for anybody. Like that ain't nothing much. If I'm talking to someone, if I'm going on a date, if I'm dating somebody, I'm gonna open the car door for them. It may not be like a consistent or always thing, but I will do it. Um, I feel like it's just do unto others what you want done to yourself. You mean like, hey, just treat a person, make them feel good. But like, hey, I see you. I see you as another person in my space. So let me do something like nice for you. But I guess it's not nothing too major.
yeah, I definitely agree. I'm one to open the door as well, and to say Deja and Kendall, when I'm with them, they'll literally dodge. They'll go like this. They'll try to dodge the door just for me to open it. So I've got a lot of experience in practicing chivalry, even if it's not for a romantic relationship, clearly. But so yeah, I do think it is generational. I agree with what you said, Santi, that it is what you're taught and what you know. But I do think it also can't be learned. But I also want to say that it depends on the type of girl that, like, does your girl even expect you to open the door for her? Does she even want that? So I think that's also an important aspect to add.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, me personally, I was taught that I shouldn't want anything less than what my dad, my grandfather, the men in my family have, shown me. So I don't care who I'm with. I feel like as a man, I'm not opening up the door if I'm with another man, or if I'm with a man, regardless of, friend relationship, whatever. I really just think it depends on how you were raised and what your morals are, as well as like how your parents taught you or whoever the people that raised you taught you. And I think that moving away taught me that not everybody was, had the same upbringing. Not everybody knows that, you're not supposed to do this, or you're not supposed to do that. And so being in college where everybody's from different places, it definitely taught me that if you want something in a relationship to be done, or something that you think is regular, you may have to say that, or you may have to communicate what you want in that relationship.
I agree. Well, I agree with Kendall, but definitely to a certain extent, chivalry is dead. Like nobody's opening car doors for real, especially if you're from the Bay. Nobody's really doing that. Devin, he said that I will wait. I will wait. With any of my guy friends, I will sit there. I don't care if I'm in the front. I'm gonna wait. Like you gonna open this door, but he has a problem with that, and I feel like you should open the door for a woman. Like a woman, lady, it's just gentleman like. And these men today aren't really gentlemen. But in Atlanta, I don't know. It is definitely different a little bit to a certain extent. Like they'll get the door. Certain people don't want me pressing the elevator button. Like it's there a little bit. Definitely not in the beta.
I agree and disagree with y'all because sometimes I feel like it's not that deep. I could open a door. Half the time, if I'm not opening a door, it's because I don't want to touch it because I don't want to get germs in my hand. That'll be the only time I don't want to open a door. But like, I mean, when it comes to a relationship, yeah, it's a nice gesture, but it's just not all that deep to me. I mean, but like when you do it, it's duly noted.
Okay, I kind of agree. I want to add just a little twist. Do y'all think it can go vice versa? Like there's a type of chivalry that women can I guess add to or give to men? Is that like a thing or no?
Personally, I think no. I feel like your question kind of reminds me of a discussion I seen on I think Twitter, but it was like something along the lines where it was like men think they're the prize nowadays, and I feel like a woman is a prize, and it was like the people in the comment section, mostly men, were like, "What do you bring to the table as a woman?" And I think that in this generation, we lost the idea that the woman, she's a prize in a sense. Like she's something that she's supposed to chase over. And I think like, with our music and all this other stuff, we kind of lost that illusion. And then there's so many options nowadays. So like people just think like it doesn't matter. I could go get somebody else. So, that doesn't have standards or something.
Just to add to that too, like if you to answer your question, Devin, like if you think about the context of chivalry, it's coming from times before, women even had like a space in society. So it's like it never applied to them in general. You're catering to a woman regardless. But what Messiah said about men thinking that they're the prize is kind of like that's how it gets switched now. Like we have the term of calling men sassy and all this because they're acting more like, I'm not going to say this in a disrespectful way, but like they're acting more in the women's role than the women do when it comes to romantic things. So yeah.
Johnny, look like you have something to say about that one. I'm kind of curious.
I'm just listening. I don't want to stir the pot because I just want to hear, because I like to listen to the young people. Before I say something, I want to hear their perspectives. So I'm letting y'all speak. I want to hear the perspective, but I got a lot of pushback. Okay, y'all know me. They're gonna come for me. So before they come for me, I want to hear what y'all got to say, because I think
I want to hear it, John. I want to know what you was thinking while you was thinking it.
I'm just thinking. I don't want to bring it up yet. I'm just listening to y'all. I mean, because I'm confused as a man, okay? I get confused with women. We got this independent woman movement. Y'all want to do everything, and then y'all want us to open the doors for y'all. I mean, I'm confused as a man. I'm gonna just tell you, I'm so confused with this dating, this relationship, right? Everybody wants to do their own thing, but then they want to get mad when a man doesn't do this. And why can't man be a prize? Why can't we be a prize? Why does men have to do everything for women? I want to ask that because I want to know. It's no disrespect. This is a conversation because I think we've programmed our women to think everything is supposed to be them. A man has to do everything. Why? Why can't it be women do things for men as well? So I want to hear from y'all because I want to know who teaches y'all how to date too, because I always ask people, who taught you how to date? Okay. When did you
I
have a
think
conversation and who taught you how to date? Because I believe we're in 2023. Okay. So a lot of these things that I hear from young people, modern women, they talking about stuff that applied 60, 80 years ago. Okay. We in 2023. Life's changed, different environments, different cultures, different things have taken place. Yes, I think guys should respectfully open doors for women. Yes, I think guys should pay for dates. I think it's a lot of things that I believe that yes, guys should do. But we're getting to this place of where like women expect men to do everything.
Hold
Okay.
on.
I
Hold
agree. I think
on.
you brought up
I'm
a
just
good
No.
saying,
point.
I'm not saying this right, but when do women say, I want to do something for my man? I want to do something for me. Let me take you out on a date. Why women? I want to know
I was just
seriously,
I
why
think
can't a woman open a man door? I really want to hear why not. I just
go
want
ahead,
to I'm
Deja.
just asking.
Go ahead,
that's too
Deja.
far. Opening a man's door is too far. But I agree though, to a certain extent, that women should
But
take their man
why?
on a date.
Who's telling us we can't open the door for men? So if I'm walking in the mall,
That's
you
Me.
wouldn't hold the
manly.
door.
Oh
You wouldn't
my
hold the,
goodness.
so if I'm walking in the door, you wouldn't hold the door open. You'll let it slam in my face, Deja.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie. I'll hold the door open for you. I'm not gonna open it though. Like open it and holding it is two different things. But what you say that a woman should take men on dates. They should. It should be reciprocated. Like all that energy. Like I'm not saying it's always you every time you paying. No, we should. It should be reciprocated. But you talking about a man doing everything for a woman, but don't you want your woman to wash your clothes or don't you want your woman to cook for you? Like how is that only? How does it all fall on the man if your woman is doing some stuff too?
So
So
it's
I
funny
think
because
the
we was literally
conversation is
just
more. Go ahead, kiddo.
oh, I was gonna say we was just talking about this literally this week. I really just think that it should be a relationship should be 50-50. So if I want the man to provide for me, there's other ways that I can, give to the relationship as far as like cooking, cleaning, like regular. If I want the traditional stuff from a man, I can do the traditional stuff as a woman. Or even if we're going out on a date, he doesn't have to pay. If we're going all the time, he doesn't have to pay every single time. If we both want to go, we both want to enjoy each other's company. It's okay for
Preach, Quentin.
me,
Preach.
every once in a while paying for the date or whatever the case is, or reciprocating his energy. That's fine. I just think that some in this day and age, some people are trying to take that a little too far, just a little bit.
So
As far
Kendall.
as the man gotta open up or I gotta open up the door for the man and blah 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 blah. I'm not doing that.
So
I just
Kendall. So Kendall, you're gonna start fireworks because these women out here, these modern women, they don't believe in 50-50. They're gonna say, no, I shouldn't take care of all of this. And I'm still trying to figure out why, because at the end of the day, we're taking care of each other. If we in this together, it shouldn't be mine and yours. It's togetherness if we together, right? And I think this is why relationships is failing. We so focused on the monetary things. We're so focused fighting on the gender roles. If we're in this together, let's do it together, right? It's going to be some things that you're going to be good at that I'm not going to be good at. Maybe your thing is washing. Maybe that's not, right? Maybe I can help you fold. Cooking. Maybe cooking, I like the cooking, you don't. So I think we're having this clash of the gender roles and these monetary things because we have it in our head that it's supposed to be like this. And I just don't believe that it's supposed to be like this. I believe as relationships grow, that's going to look like the model that you and the person that's in the relationship with makes it. And I think that's where we struggle. But our culture, the way our culture, the music, the movies perpetuate what a relationship look like, I think that's part of our problem in the community as well.
I agree. I think you definitely. Well, first of all, I want to welcome my boy Savion back on the platform. But I agree. And when you said that women want to be independent, 100% independent, but then when it comes to putting up this TV on the wall, I need a man to do this, or when it comes or when it comes to mowing this lawn that you're so independent about. Oh, let me call Devin and Darius and Savion to come help me out. So I think it definitely you definitely got to find what works for you, especially in this day and age. But we do, or well, we do. Both women and men go off of the traditional ways of living, which aren't necessarily what we live in. The times we live in today.
First of all,
Um,
quit talking about me
I,
because
I think
with the Devin and Darius and the TV. Anyways, number two, I think it just depends on who you're with. I feel like you, as yourself, you know yourself, and your partner knows themselves, right? So if you are the type of person to where you want it to be 50-50 and you want, you know, both of y'all to give to the relationship, find you somebody that feels the same way. Don't, you know, find somebody that doesn't feel that way and then you mad when it doesn't work because they want to do this, you don't want to do this. If the person that you're with, you knew how they were when you jumped in a relationship, and at this point it's not working, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. So find somebody that, well, that's what I think. Find somebody that works with you and what you feel like you want in that relationship.
Yeah, I feel like in this conversation, I think it's so interesting because we're all generally like really young and stuff like that. Like I'm 19, I'm sure our ages range from like 19 to like around 20, 22 around. And the last relationship I was in, I pretty much didn't pay for anything. But when there was times for me to like really show up, I really showed up. So birthdays, like just little acts of or ways I could show affection and stuff like that. But I think it's so interesting because after I got out that relationship, I feel like my standard for just everything being paid for like still persisted. And I had a conversation with a mentor slash friend or whatever. And he was like, Messiah, you think that this, that, and the third? And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know. It just make life so much easier for me. Like, I really just feel like I shouldn't have to care about any of those things. I feel like men in this generation sometimes lack being a provider, and that's not always materialistically. That's sometimes protecting or mentally, and sometimes from my experience dating as a younger person, I feel like a lot of men lack the ability to be emotionally competent. And I feel like that's something that women have been like showing a lot of growth, especially on social media. We see it all the time about like, you know, the self-progress journey, whether it's fake or it's real. But I think that's how a lot of women have been showing up in relationships for men. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with you because the models that they showing on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, they are felon. You just heard the statistics. 85% of black women are single in America. It's a problem. So it's not working. So I can't sit here and humbly say, yes, this is model. I'm just telling you, if it's working, why are so many women single?
But that could also be that they chose themselves instead of looking for a man. I see it all the time. Like even within my friend group, it's like a lot of us that will be single, or if we're in a relationship, it's like a good relationship because the standards are high. And it's just not like, you know.
Go ahead, Santi.
So my thing is this, okay? I think what I'm hearing from the young people is high standards brings high expectation, great success. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't think that motto is true. Okay. I know women who have high standards, young ladies, and they're not having that success. All right. I think the problem is we need to go back and think about how we date, right? And I think sometimes this is where we're getting confused at when we're going out. If you having this expectation that a man's supposed to do everything, he's supposed to take me out every time, that's part of the problem. A man gonna feel like you trying to use him, right? I think when we in this initial dating phase, how we vet each other is the biggest issue with dating, right? Because we go out and we don't really vet. We just start saying our expectations, like you said. Most women are like, out. If he asking me out, he got to pay for this and this and this and that.
I
right?
mean, that's what it should be, though. That's my time, literally my time.
Oh, so you want me to pay for your time? Is what you telling me? If I take you out, I got to pay for your time.
I'm not materialistic, but I'm saying that in certain ways, it should be like you ask for my time, so you should accommodate me. You feel what I'm saying? Because you don't know what this person's intentions are. Like, I don't know, but I'm going in with a clear mind, but I also want there to be some type of boundary as far as respect. And I feel like me getting respect is you paying for the date. Like,
so I think that's the problem. That's the misconception that we have in our community with young women, especially. Okay. Everybody is making relationships transactional. And that's why they're failing so much. Okay. When you say something like that, I'm like, okay, my time is valuable too. So what, man is supposed to charge women for taking them out when y'all taking up our time, when y'all crying on the phone and y'all want to see us and we got stuff and we're moving stuff around? Is that what you want? Because that sounds like a transactional relationship. Everything is. Go ahead.
If we're being honest, a lot of men try to show their dominance based off what their pockets look like. So there's a lot of men in our generation now that show off their money to us. So of course, take me on a date. You want to see me? Okay, you can take me out. But just going back like to the gender roles, like we're known for men to be providers and to show their dominance in relationships. So of course we're going to want something to submit to. And if you're showing us that, then why not fulfill that role?
So, question:
Okay.
What if it's a person who not flashing money and stuff like that, and they, in your DMs asking to go on a date with you?
Now this goes back to not being materialistic. It's really just that was applying to somebody who, because he said relationships were transactional, and that's not completely true. But of course, I'm going on a date with somebody that I've talked to a lot. I wouldn't just be going on a date randomly with somebody who just hit me up. And I'm like, oh, like go on our first date tomorrow type stuff. But if it's somebody that, they hit me up randomly, like you, of course, get to know somebody before you go out with them. And then you see if you want to proceed with that interaction or not. So it's very, very much situational.
So do you think it could be transactional in a way how, say, a woman would show off her body, right? She's all on Instagram with showing off her body in such a way to where you would assume certain needs. Y'all get what I'm trying to say, basically. I feel like y'all do. So basically, let's say that. So if it's so transactional in that way, do you think so? If she's showing this off and I hit her up because that's what she's showing off, and that's the vibe I'm getting, and that's the type of transaction I want. So do you think that's basically like, do you think that's fair in the same way as if a man were to show off his value or what he deems valuable, and you want that from him, or this really for all y'all? But Santi, since you said it.
Like I saw someone say in the comments, it's very much double standards. So as the relationships go, women aren't looking for, pleasurable needs for men because they're showing their money, as men do to women who show off their body on social media. So it's a different conversation when you say like, I want this from a woman because she has this kind of picture on social media compared to this man showing off his plate at Fleming's or Ruth Chris and want to take me out on a date. It's different.
That's why men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, okay, if you going after a man for his money, most of those type of guys are looking for something sexual in response to them flashing their money. So y'all think that's just he's showing his money because he's baiting y'all in, because young-minded women are going for, oh, he got money. So he's going to take advantage of you. Most of these young girls out here, I'm just telling you how it happens, okay? And I'm being realistic. And Devin, please speak your truth, okay? This is a real show. I don't want y'all holding back y'all feelings and y'all expression, because we got to really deal with this, right? Because when you make those perceptions or you make those statements, I have to say something about that, because just like men post money and y'all say, oh, he got money, we expect him to do that, right? There's men out there that see y'all on Facebook when y'all got less clothes on and y'all posting these nudes, that they got expectations. When I see you, or I'm gonna fly you out, I got some expectations, because this is how you showing yourself to the world. So just understand both sides of that, and I want our young people especially hear that, because some of y'all just get in this thing that a man's gonna give you money and he's gonna take care of you. There's no expectations. And I just want y'all young ladies to understand that. These men who out there flashing their money, trying to catch y'all because they know y'all young. Most of y'all in college, y'all parents ain't around, so y'all struggling. Women do it too, okay? It's not just men, women and women relationships. This happen too, okay? They're going to use you and prey on you with money because they know you're vulnerable. So again, when you're talking about vetting people, you talking about core values. What are you looking for? Okay, because it shouldn't be about the attraction of the money, right? We're talking about character. And I think this is why so many of our young women fail in relationships, because they don't vet properly, because we're not going after the things that we really should be looking at when we're dating a man. We get sidetracked with how much money he got, what kind of car he driving. So
Can
now
I add something else to that?
Hold on, John. Wait a second.
Wait, I have something to add.
I have a lot to say too. Santi?
Okay, this is just based off that. So basically, he's saying like a lot of our relationships are failing because women's expectations and all this. We don't talk enough about how men don't court women anymore either. So we don't talk about how they don't want to take us on dates anymore, or just the simple things of just spending quality time and getting to know one another outside of the romantic aspect, just building that bond. That's another reason why a lot of our relationships don't last either. It's not just solely on women. Men, a lot of the time, don't hold up their part either. A lot of this comes from not being emotionally available too. So, yeah.
Also,
Oh,
back
so
to the whole
go ahead,
social media
Kendall.
thing. Back to the whole social media thing. I feel like men all the time think that women do things for men. What somebody has on social media is not, it's not like everything a woman is doing is for the attention of a man. What if she just liked them booty shorts that she got on and that's what she wore
Thank
that
you,
day and posted
Kendall.
pictures
Thank
in?
you.
That does not mean that that is for a man's attention. So I think that a lot of time men see things as in one vision when everybody else is not like that. That doesn't mean whatever somebody posts on social media don't mean they're looking for attention from other people. That just means that that's what they wanted to post that day. Personally.
I
I,
I
I
think
agree
Wait,
with
hold
you.
on.
I agree with you. You're right. Y'all
John.
women ain't thinking like that, but I'm telling you from a man, if I see you on there and you got your shirt all off, I'm not looking at it like, oh, she just posting this because she trying to look cute. No, a man's gonna be like, oh my goodness, oh wow, what is she doing? I'm just telling you how men think, right? So y'all gotta understand, yes, in your innocent mind, you thinking I'm just trying to look cute for the gram, right? But you're getting those followers from what you're putting out there. I just want y'all to know that. If y'all don't know that, that's what it is. That's why you're getting those 3,000, 5,000, 20,000 likes, right? Because they're sexualizing you. They objectifying you. So you need to understand that. I'm being real from a man's perspective. So yeah, you might be innocent, like I'm just doing this because I'm cool, I'm feeling good today. But again, you're dealing with people in the public, and I'm telling y'all how men are. So now they objectifying you. That's might not what you putting off, but in their mind, because this is the common thing that they're seeing, they're going to objectify you.
Okay,
Right?
but how do we vet? Y'all talking about vetting like we not vetting right. How do you vet if, like Santi said, we're not being courted anymore?
So I think when we talk about dating and courtship is two different things. I think too many women are getting into relationships or meeting people, and the first thing they think is he's supposed to be courting me, right? There's a dating phase where you have to go. Maybe it's talk on the phone a few times to find out even before you go out on the first date, right? And having those conversations, vetting people about their character, their principles, their morals, their values, their upbringings. Sometimes we miss all of that and we get in these relationships and then we find out all this stuff I don't like about a person, right? And when I hear that 8 months, 10 months, 2 years down the line, I'm thinking, well, when you met this person, did you ask these questions? No, he was just nice and cool and he showed me a good time all the time. You don't never get to understand the person. So it's a lot of the dating part before you get into the courtship is having those conversations. I think as young people, elders in the community, they do it too. We jump right into what we like. It feels good. I've been single for a minute. I went out on a few dates. Now I want him to court me, right? You have to get to know that person. Go on a few dates.
I agree, and we definitely have those stages in the youth. We call it, like the first of us the talking stage. Like y'all talk, so y'all get to know each other, and then y'all either y'all date or y'all whatever it is, a situationship, whatever it is. So then there's that stage, and then there's, well, I guess after that it would just be long term dating and then marriage or whatever, wherever it goes. So I think we definitely have those stages of talking and or vetting and getting to know each other. From the youth perspective, and personally, I try to ask them questions. I try to ask deeper questions than just surface level, how was your day type of things. I try to ask, this first thing come to my head, but like, do you believe in aliens? I know that's kind of weird, but it's something deep and good that you should know. How did you grow up? What are the type of foods that you like? Do you like to go outside, or are you a homebody? Do you like to try new things, or are you scared to try new things? Because those are the type of things that are important to me. So I think we definitely do have those things, those talking stages, and those vetting practices in our youth. It just may not be talked about as much.
Also,
yeah, I
do you
as
completely
well.
agree.
You got to talk like, okay, yeah, you asking those questions. But I feel like in the beginning, you should definitely be asking, like, what are you looking for right now? Like, what are we doing? Are we trying to take it there, or are we just communicating to communicate? Are we wasting our time? Y'all should talk about what you both want before.
To
But
me,
with
Yeah.
things like that, like you sometimes at the moment you would know, like it's just, of course it's things to talk about, but if you don't know at that moment what you're looking for, you can't just give them an answer, because if you just say, well, I don't know, then they're going to assume the worst and take your intentions as harmful. So it's very
And
much for interpretation. So it's just like you kind of should, yeah.
I disagree.
I mean, unless you're chilling
I
with a
want
guy,
to
you
know.
don't know,
I
though.
want to know how long do y'all young people date before you get in courtship? That's what I want to know. How long are y'all on the phone going on these dates and before y'all switch those conversations up?
So
Well,
I think
I know
we
some people.
in the beginning,
Hold
though.
on. I know some people that talked for 3-4 years and never dated. So I think that it depends on the person. Honestly, I think
also
That's a waste of time.
Yeah, it is. I think also we have to keep in mind that with this generation, we have so many options. I mean, we have Instagram, we have all these different applications and dating services. Like, I think that courting and dating gets kind of mixed in with a whole bunch of other stuff because people have rosters nowadays. Like, people really have them lined up. And you really
As
get
you
to
should.
as you should. And it's just like, okay, well, this one, that one, going on dates. I know some of my friends, they be going on dates and really being able to figure it out. And I think it's only normal for girls to do that and men too, so that when we get older, we won't just settle. I think that's just the worst thing ever to settle.
So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with y'all on that, right? I think in the dating process, I think all y'all young ladies and men, you should be open to dating other people. I think that's what's going on. Too many times I hear women. I listen to all of this stuff. I'm in different digital streets, so I know what's going on. But a lot of these women, I hear them all the time saying, "Oh, I don't want to date a guy that's dating another girl." Why? Right? He's trying to figure out what works for him, what's his connection. As a woman, you should be trying to do that. But they apply dating and talking to other folks going out as intimacy. So girls like, I don't want this body count. I don't want all of these girls thinking that I'm out dating. But you gotta find out what works for you. And I think that energy will pull you to where you need to be. But I think y'all young, right? Y'all young. This is a youth show. Y'all young. Y'all should be taking as much time as y'all possibly can to find a person and not rushing and jumping into it.
Yeah, I
I
think for
agree.
me, I'm gonna want to be the only girl. So like, it may be illusion, it may be a whole bunch of other things, but I'm gonna want to know that I'm the only girl. So
See, I feel like the talking stage is really like the pre-cred to the courting phase. When I'm talking to you, that's where I'm really trying to gauge and find out who you is, where your head at, what I want from you, what you want from me. I ain't gonna start courting you until I know that's secure, because I ain't trying to blow my money on you if I know it ain't gonna go nowhere. Like I value money way too much to try to be spending on somebody where it ain't gonna be reciprocated some way down the line. And some way you better be fast. Yeah, people be lying. People be lying for sure. Like, people don't tell the truth. People gonna lie to you to try to get what they want from you instead of just being straightforward because they're afraid it may not line up.
Darius, I got a question for you, Darius. Since you talk about people be lying, I want to ask you from a young man perspective.
I be lying.
When a man when a man see a woman, what's the first thing that he think if he like her and she looks good?
She bad. Like, yeah, her body. She bad.
No, bad. Tell the truth. Since we telling the truth, you gonna be like, I want to hit that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So women, the problem is when men lie, because when men tell us to women, they don't want to hear that. And this is the biggest thing that I tell women. Most men, okay, and they don't want to hear this. Men date off physical attraction and sexual intimacy. Then we get into the emotional and then trying to get to know people. That's just what it is. Women be like, oh, no, that's what it is. When you see a woman that's beautiful, first thing you looking like, oh, she bad. I want to hit that. We ain't thinking about, oh, let me talk to her and see if she got emotional issues. We're not talking to see if she got trauma, PTS issues. We're not asking is, do she got a single dad and she come up in a single house? We don't ask those questions. Our initial reaction is, she's pretty. I want to hit that. Before anything else. Is that right, Darius?
No, that's facts, and I agree. And that's why when people say looks don't matter, I be like, okay, now come on now, be for real. Looks matter. That's what attracts you to begin with. So I agree. That's all I gotta say. But go ahead, Savion. You had something to say earlier.
Yeah. So with me, I go with the flow. That's like my term of it. I go with the flow. So I, get to know you. We, could link up, spend some time together and stuff. But I talk on the phone, had, all type of conversations. I used to be on the phone with my girlfriend all the time, like all day, just really getting to know each other, friends first, and then like whatever it lead to. That's why I call it going with the flow.
So
I
Savia,
think that's the problem too.
Savia. So after you hit that, Savia, now you intimate. You didn't hit that. The phone calls ain't happening that much no more. You don't got all the time. You available. Why is that, Savia?
Man.
Woo!
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Leave my nephew alone. I got your back, Sarah.
No, right.
I
Let's
mean,
talk about
yeah,
it.
I ain't gonna lie.
Let's talk about it.
We gotta
So,
talk about it. If
I
y'all
ain't
ain't gonna
even
keep it
gonna lie.
real, it's no reason to have this conversation because there's a million young girls out there and young boys listening to this conversation. The whole perspective of this conversation is to bring out the reality. Sometimes it hurt, is what it is, but we gotta have a real conversation. So women want to know that. Guys start off, they loving on me, they taking me on dates, they doing all the stuff that they say they gonna do, they showing up, and then after they hit it, they not so consistent no more. Tell me why, Savion.
I mean, really, in that situation, for me, it'll be because, like, okay, I seen you, you look good, then, you know, we get intimate or whatever. It just gives me, like, you know, like, why were you that fast? Like, why was it that fast? Why was it that easy? Like, why should I cuff you after that type of situation for me? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Why you ain't take steps to say, you know, not really push the issue with me, try to get to know me first. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of, I ain't gonna say you lose value, but if we really just be honest, you just lose like a tad bit of value for me because you could have just, you know what I'm saying? I go with the flow, and then that's what you wanted to do. So yeah.
I'm not trying to come for you, Savvy. I don't want you to. I don't want you to feel like I'm coming for you, but I wanted to bring this out there because this is what women need to hear. Okay, and a lot of times after we hit that, because we didn't properly vet, we didn't go to the deep part of the person that we with. We become intimate, and then all of those flaws start to show up. Right? That's what it be. Right? That nagging that you didn't get in the beginning. Right? That makeup ain't on. You like, oh, she was bad, but when she took that makeup off, oh, she kind of hurt, right? Oh, she kind of like masculine. She trying to always talk back, right? So those things that you didn't properly get to know starts to show up. And then you like, oh, I like you, but I'm gonna back up a little bit, right? This is the conversation that we got to have. And this is why vetting is so important. This is why getting to know the person is so important. So we eliminate some of these failed relationships. We ain't gonna stop it, but you got to have a real conversation. And for the ladies that's listening, understand this is what's going on. So y'all not just out there like, what was wrong? Is something wrong with me? This is just what happens, right? Because we don't spend the necessary time to understand each other, communication, really find out what we like and don't like. And what ends up happening is we rush into the bedroom, and then after that, everything changes.
And that's a fact. I feel like you definitely, that's why you got to make them wait. You got to make them wait, because if you give it up too soon, then he like, well, shoot, I already got it. Like, what's left for me? What's left for me to still be here and keep trying? You got to make them wait till they actually like you, and you gonna know they like you, because depending on the amount of time you make them wait, they gonna either stop talking to you or they gonna do more for you. And then
Deja, I have to respectfully push back, Deja, because for the women who think that, I'm gonna tell you right now, you women who think that is terribly wrong. Okay, all y'all listen to Steve Harvey, make a man wait 90 days. I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? If you dating a man who has the financial capabilities, if he like you and that's what he want, he'll wait 90 days. He'll wait 6 months.
He'll
wait 8 months.
That's all I was gonna say.
He'll wait a year. I'm just telling y'all, I'm giving y'all women some insight. They don't care. If their goal is they want to have sex with you, they'll wait a year. You can make them wait a year. And I'm going to tell you right now, after a year, after he hit it, he going to run too, okay? So don't get it in your mind thinking the more I make him wait, he going to stay around, because it doesn't work. Ask a lot of these women out here. They single right now. They waited for the 90-day rule. After 90 days, he hit and left. They single right now, okay?
Just why do you only talk about men when it talks about that? Like, what if the women just want to hit too? Like, if they just want to hit, then let them just hit too, okay?
That's fine. No, I feel like that's a good point. That's a good point. I ain't gonna be mad at her if she say that. Say that.
See, that's the problem. We be mad and they don't be mad.
Yeah, that is the problem, because if you tell a man that you, back to the dating situation, you tell a man that you dating multiple people, they're not gonna go for that. It's always the man got to have more women to date, and then when the woman does that, it's like, oh no, you belong to me, or you gonna get called names because you have multiple men or whatever. That's just how it goes, and it's been like that forever. Period.
And another thing,
honestly, I was reading
men-
Carissa's comments. Looking back, she said something about them as boys, not men, and I agree with that. I feel like a lot of the time that whole perspective with it needs to be now or never, whatever, waiting, all that. Like, if a man likes you and he wants to have a relationship, he's gonna do what needs to happen for that relationship. So I feel like a lot of the people that y'all are talking about is giving boys, not men.
Very
as
much.
far as right now, like
So I need to know, why is it 85% of the women single out here? Then they all
It's
boys.
The men. It's the
Well,
men.
for one,
And you know another thing that I will
how
say
come
though.
this conversation?
Whoa,
How come this
That whole
conversation
time that you're
is
waiting.
like? Sorry, I was just saying,
That's
how come
cool,
this
girl.
conversation is geared towards women learning what they need to do? What? So the men is perfect? They must be.
I'm
The
not
men
saying
must do
no.
everything right.
I'm not saying man is perfect. I'm a man, okay? I'm not a woman, so I only can speak from a man's perspective. So y'all young ladies on here need to speak from a woman's perspective so I can countersuit it. I'm a man. I can't tell you what a woman go through. All I can tell you is my experiences of dating with women, and that's all I can give you as a man perspective because I'm a man. So y'all tell me if I'm wrong or right, because I know these women, when they try to do it and try to have multiple people and all this, they can't do it because they're emotionally attached. Right. So and that's why I say men are not emotionally attached like women when it comes to sex. Am I wrong or right? I don't know. Y'all women tell me.
Being emotionally incompetent. But another thing that I will say, because I was listening to what you said and I was thinking, oh yeah, if I make him wait, whatever. But one thing that I peeped though, that whole time that she making him wait, he doing it with somebody else. So it's not like you're being celibate and the other person is being celibate. You're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna wait. No, that person is doing it with 3 other people. And once they get to you, like
See, and then that falls back on us too, on your comprehension. So like you could feel a dude vibe, or like how much attention he giving you, or just y'all connection. If he talking to other people, you supposed to be on that same. You supposed to reciprocate every energy he give you. If he talking to other people, you need to be talking to other people. You never supposed to sit there and let him do whatever he want. You supposed to be playing.
Also, you keep talking about there's all these women are single. That's because all the men are locked up in jail. That's because all the men like men. That's because all the men are mama's boys and they can't get away from their mama. That's why. There's more women in the world than men, and the men are nowhere to be found, especially our black men.
So Tony, are you going to blame black women then? Because you're saying women, if 90% of the homes are single parent families and they raised by women, and all these men have flaws, is the woman gonna take responsibility because they raised them, or who's at fault for that?
Listen, I'm not in the battle of it's the man's fault or the
I'm
women's
just
fault.
asking the question, Tony. Yes or
and
no?
I'm just giving you the answer, John. That yes, it also has to do with the mothers baby and their men, and they're not being raised with men in the household. So a woman can only go so far with raising a man, and so the man can only get what they can get when they go outside of the door. And so it's all messed up. It's all jacked up. So I can't really point and say whose fault it is, but it's a mess.
So when men try to step in these young men's life and teach them, we need our women in the community to let men lead and teach these young brothers, and not y'all sissify them and be like, no, don't say this.
Community, just remember that John.
I think that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Devin, thank you.
But I want to go back to what one of those comments said. Just keep it real. Basically, just keep it playing. Keep it playing and tell them what it is. And that will kind of defeat the purpose of, because men will wait a year just to hit it. Let's be honest. So if I'm gonna wait a year, I probably will find somebody else in that year because I'm waiting on you. But let's just say also that I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
I was gonna say real quick. So what do y'all think are some red flags then when you're first starting a relationship, you're first starting to talk to somebody? For us, it's like the talking stage. For y'all, older generation, y'all are dating, trying to figure it out. What are some red flags that you see that you feel like maybe not, or you kind of ignore the red flags because they look good or whatever? What do y'all think?
My
Attention
red
span.
flag, as soon as she tell me I gotta pay for everything, that's a red flag for me.
Okay, John. Okay.
Mute his mic, somebody. Hurry up. Mute him.
Please.
Onto your Messiah. What y'all thinking?
Personally, I think attention span. I think when you talking to somebody, they should be giving you their undivided attention, like very devoted to the conversation or whatever. And I feel like if they can't be devoted to the conversation, then they got something else on their mind. And you can either figure out what's going on. But when it's so consistent, it's like, okay, I see what's going on, or just how they interact with you, and also being shown off. I'm not saying I got to be on your Instagram page, but I feel like there's a certain level of. I think men like to show off girls, like whether it's to their homeboys or whatever, and I think a guy will do that. But you got to see how he does it. Is it because this is a trophy, or is it because this is a real dope person that I think that you guys should meet? Because it could be either one. You could be showing off and you could be the trophy girl, or you could be actually like this person, she's down to earth, you know?
I can agree with that. And another red flag that I would see, just in the talking stage, would probably be somebody who only wants to see you past a certain time. So it's like you have all day to want to see me. We go out to eat, breakfast, whatever. If you hitting me past 10 o'clock every time you want to see me, that's a red flag. Because my grandma was my granny tell me all the time, it ain't nothing open past 10 o'clock but some legs. So that's really all it is.
See, it's that old training that's messing our young people up. Okay, that old game. Right now, you get with some of them older guys, they're gonna be calling you at 6:30 in the morning saying, hey, let's go get some brunch. Let's go get some breakfast.
Okay, and that's fine. I could do that. But I just feel like it's nothing much that you could do past a certain time because everything is closed. So it's like, if you want to see me all the time past 10 o'clock or around 11, like, I already know what it is. So I'm not, a lot of the time, it's only if it's every time. Every other time, like, it could be like an inconsistent thing. That's fine. I'll come see you, go get some food, eat in the car, whatever. But every time, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, every time. I agree with you on that. I'm not saying that that's not true. But what I'm trying to get y'all young ladies to understand is if a man has it out that this is what he wants, it doesn't matter. Okay. He's going to call you 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever time. If that's what his focus is, just that. Okay. So I just wanted to say that. I wasn't pushing back. I agree with you. There's no dating spots at 11 o'clock. Now, Netflix and chill don't never go away. But I'm just saying.
These are red flags. That's just the red flag. And I agree, because after 11 o'clock, don't call me. If I don't know you for real, we ain't talking for real, don't call me, don't text me, talking about what you doing, what you own, none of that.
Exactly. That's
absolutely.
Also, what if he wanted to take you to the drive-in or something and just, spend some time and vibe right there? So
why you didn't
that's
tell me that
past
earlier?
That was different, but you have all day. You have all day, literally all day to text me, tell me whatever it is. You're not going to make plans with somebody for later on in the day, an hour before. So it's like, if you know that's what you want to do later on in the day, you're going to tell them probably like 3 o'clock.
But
maybe I'm in a library at study hall all day and I got my phone on silent. Then I get out and take a nap and I wake up, it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh.
Maybe they were never doing that. They were never doing that.
Why don't y'all make it intentional though? Why don't y'all ever say what y'all really want? Y'all be trying to sugarcoat everything. Oh, I'm sorry, I was doing this and that. I couldn't text you all day, but want to text me at 1 a.m.
All right, so fellas out there, be honest and just start telling the woman what y'all want out the gate, and let's see how this goes. I just want the fellas.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. It actually gets you kind of far.
It do.
Yeah, it do get you far.
You just keep it
for the right person.
It just eliminate all the other stuff, and it gets you to where you're trying to be. Not with everybody. I'm not gonna say it with everybody, but it gets you far enough.
Hey, Devin, do you know what the next conversation is going to be? All these women are going to come back and say, all these guys want to do is just hook up and have sex. That's what's going to be the next conversation.
Yeah, but you got to find that one who's right for you. I may not be right for you in that moment. So you need to find a person that's right for you, and y'all can get together and have a relationship at that time. But I agree. It kind of is harder for y'all women. It just kind of is. I ain't going to lie, but
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know. I feel like it really boiled down to that good old comment of like how when somebody, I don't know who said it, but somebody was just like, it's a problem when girls got their own little roster. I feel like it ain't the problem is that. It's the problem that people don't know how to play their role. Like I already know you talking to to 6 other dudes on the roster, that's cool, that's fine. That I'm number 7. But the fact is, if I'm number 7, I ain't gonna be trying to like blow some dough on you for real and really trying to take you out. If there's 6 other people on the roster, if I'm doing the same thing as the 6 other buckos, then what do I really need to show out for? Like until I know I'm the only one, or I'm the star player, then like let's be for real.
How you gonna be the star player?
What it is, the girls want us to take
you.
it.
That's the problem. That's what I was
saying. Star player.
Exactly. We
gotta
trying to
show
get
up
to
and
know
show
the
out.
all.
Look,
You can get to know
best man win.
Nobody,
That's what it is.
Nobody to try to show out when we all understand.
May the best man win.
And that also goes for women.
Hey, heck no. We got a coach on here.
Trying to beat the next dude.
We got a coach on here. Watch out now. We got a coach on here.
But that goes for women.
Sante over here coaching. She talking about put him on the bench.
And Devin is good for saying somebody needs to play the role till they are the role. But if I'm not the role and you want me to play the role and keep playing the role and keep playing the role and keep playing the role and I'm never the role, then what? That don't make sense. I'm not gonna play no role if I'm not that role.
Then we just had a conversation about this too, like not too long ago. About there was a post on Instagram, like, you know, they want to play or they want to be the wife, but they're not playing that role or something like that. And it's kind of like, you want us to do that, but you're not doing your part. So it's like, you want us to, you know, be this girlfriend material type, but you're not even showing me that you're the right guy to be my boyfriend. So why would I act that way towards you if you're not even, you know, you're not reciprocating that energy? And a lot of men feel like, you know, they just feel like that's what women need to do. We need to buckle down and do whatever they say, but they're not trying to give us the same energy.
So I think what y'all got to learn for all the young people and all the young people watching. I got a daughter, 25 years old. I told her the same thing, right? Don't worry about what you're doing for the next person. Be who you are, right? And I hear this a lot of times from young women, modern women. Why should I cook for a man and that's not my husband? Why should I do this and this is not my husband? What I tell my daughter is this: when you date, okay, be who you are, but set your boundary for how long you're going to show who you are. And when that person don't meet you or make where you want to be, then you move on. But a lot of women, they get tied into this showing who they are. And then when things don't go the way they want to go, or the person's not moving the way they want to move, but they invested all this time, they let go. So I always say, be who you are. If you like to cook, cook. If you like to clean, clean. Don't worry about if it's your boyfriend or not. Be who you are as a person, but set those boundaries of how long you're going to be that person for that person, right? So you're going to show this person, this is my qualities, this is what I bring. And if you don't bring what I need, then I'm going to move on. That's just all it is. It's that simple.
I totally agree with that, John. Finally, something that you hit on a nugget. Yeah, I really think that's why the conversation in the beginning is to just really get to know that person. And I do think it takes 90 days for you to realize if you like the way he chew or if you like the way he dressed or whatever it is, if he really makes your day. Like, you really need at least 90 days to do that. So I agree with you on that, John. Go ahead, brother.
I agree with that too. But let's get back to these red flags. I want to hear everybody's red flag. So go ahead, Darius or Savion, whoever left.
Wait, I just have one more thing to say though. I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of women be messing with men or going after men who they know what they want, and y'all try to change a man knowing you can't change that man because he don't want to be changed right now, and y'all think y'all can fix him, and you can. You got to move on. You got to go to the next man, and that's why y'all have built this perspective of, oh, you don't want to open doors for a man because he's not treating you right. Like, why are you trying to change him for? He's not gonna change unless he wants to, unless you're the one. And if you're not, then it's time to go. Like, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do the red flag.
But I have to say, and I agree with everybody on the panel. A man should open the door, but all I'm saying is, why can't a woman do it? Because I think if more women think outside the box, I think more men would appreciate it. Like, it took me like 25 years to have a woman buy me flowers, right? And then she bought me flowers. I'm thinking, like, you know, growing up, that's like the most. Don't buy me no flowers, but then I got some flowers. Like, wow, that's like special, right? Maybe I'm on the phone talking and you like trying to hurry up, and you open my door. I'm like, oh, okay, right? It's something different. So maybe you should try it. I don't know. I'm just saying the opposite has to work. Maybe you should set up a date and take your partner out as a woman sometime. It don't always have to be either or, because my thing is, if you like the person, y'all mutually liking each other, there's going to be some mutual support, right? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. Y'all younger, y'all tell me. But for a man, Devin, Xavier, and Darius, like if you meet a girl, she like, nah, don't trip, boo. Like, I got this. Even though you got the money to handle it, you just like, it's something different, right? You like, wow. Like,
you get so many cool points off that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm be like, what the hell? I'm still paid though, but I'm like, okay, I see. Okay, I see what type of female you with. That's what's up.
Personally, I'm gonna feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Like I'm gonna feel like this dude gonna think that I'm stupid, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. So I had a friend and I had put her on with a guy, but it was more supposed to be like a double date type of thing or whatever. But I had a somewhat of an idea what type of guy he was, so I'm like warning her, whatever. So they were only talking to each other for like not even a month. He hasn't taken her on a date or anything. We're not friends anymore. Let me just say that. But she was on FaceTime with the guy, and I guess 2K had came out or something, and he like, hey yo, babe, can you buy me something? I don't know, some type of points or something on 2K or something like that. So buy me, yeah, it's something like that. And I'm like, girl, I'm like, psst, psst, psst. And she was literally about to go on Cash App and buy it for him, but he hasn't like took her on a date, hasn't shown her any of these things. She don't even know much about him. I'm like, don't do it, girl, don't do it. So she didn't do it that time. I'm sure she did it plenty of times after we stopped being friends. But I remember him telling me one time after we stopped becoming friends, he was like, I'm going to manipulate her to where y'all can't be friends anymore. And that really stuck with me. Like I was so shook, but I think it's because of the mannerisms and the things that he like, you know, boys have little tests, just as women, we have little tests and stuff like that. So when I feel like their test of how far they can go is like, oh yeah, I got the green light to do this, that, and the third is like accomplished or whatever, like it changes the man. Just like every woman, when you date a man, you're not going to get the same man as the other person sometimes. You know,
but the cool part is she know what his intentions are, but she's so blinded by it. Like she's so
she didn't believe me
of the romance. Like you got to learn. Like she gonna learn eventually.
She gonna learn.
No,
she didn't believe me either.
Like women know. They know they're just not strong enough to get out of that situation, and that's where you got to be strong.
Going back to red flags, I would say another red flag would just be inconsistency. Just knowing, like, you know, if we both tell ourselves or tell each other that we're interested in each other and we're trying to get to know each other, you like, okay, everybody has their own lives, they have something to do, but if you text me every few days out the week or, you know, like every 12 hours out the day, you know, just let me know what's up. Like, if it's something like you got something going on that day, let me know. Like, send me a text like, oh, hey, I have this going on. I'll probably hit you around this time. But if not, then, you know, it's that. Okay, like, just communicate with what you have going on. Just don't show how, like, don't be as inconsistent to where it would make me not like you anymore.
Exactly. I agree with that, too. And if you can go a whole 24 hours without texting me, you're not the one for me, period. Because you should be checking in every day.
I completely agree.
I guess I'm in a bad boat. I'm so busy. I might go 3 days because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
Just communicate that. Like, all it is like, just like tell me what you got going on. Like, I'm not gonna fault you for something like that if you tell me what it is. Don't leave me guessing, because if you leave me guessing, then I'm gonna wonder the wrong thing and wander off. So it's like, I don't need
wander right into the phone of somebody else.
No, really, because I do that all the time.
Deja's just a hardcore player. But listen, I'm gonna tell you my red flags. People who smoke cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, that's a red flag.
You know, you so old for saying that.
That's your age group, though.
You know what? No, I wouldn't even just say that. I wouldn't say that. Because look, we go to HBCU, so we don't see it. But these PWIs are on the corner, and you got kids our age smoking cigarettes and all that, so you never know. So it's like I wouldn't even. But even today, the modern day cigarettes are those puff bars and jewels and stuff like that. So it's the same thing. Like if you're addicted to those, like that's a red flag as well, because it's nicotine all at the same time. Like
because cigarettes. So cigarettes tell me one thing: most people who smoke, they have high anxiety, right? So I don't want to be a girl with all this anxiety because I know that's gonna turn to other worries, right? And then it also tells me that you've been through something traumatic, because most people who smoke cigarettes been through some traumatic stuff. So I know I'm gonna be dealing with a mental case. I really don't like people to smoke cigarettes, smoke weed. I don't like smokers. You smoke, I don't want to deal with you because I know it's problems. There's problems with that. Y'all be careful.
So you just actually made me think of something. I just had this conversation with my mom. I think that's really a y'all generation thing, not necessarily a y'all generation thing, but my mom was like girls that smoke weed is so nasty. Like boys do not want that, but it's so unattractive, blah, blah, blah. Youth, what do y'all think? Because I feel like it's really a generational thing, honestly, as far as
That's unattractive to me. I ain't gonna lie.
I personally, I don't smoke personally, but I don't have an issue with that. I know for some people in our generation, for a lot of men in our generation, they use that as like a bonding thing. Like if they have somebody with them that they smoke, like they go smoke, go get something to eat, whatever. You know, it's really for them. It's really on people's preference. So it's kind of like it. I don't have an issue with it. I just don't prefer it. I don't want people doing it around me because I don't smell like it. But if that's what you do, I'm not going to try to change what you do because it has nothing to do with me.
But
young
sister, hold on, but your little sister, this is the contradiction that I'm talking about. When I talk about properly vetting people, if you're like, I don't want to smell like this, I don't want to be around this, I don't like this, but you still being there with that person, this is that vetting process. You're putting yourself in a situation that's going to come up because that is something that you don't like. So once you start dating this person, you hanging out with them more, even though you're like, I don't have a problem with it, I don't want to be around it. It's going to be a day. He going to be in the car. He going to smoke while you in the car. That's going to cause an argument. And then
it's not going to cause an argument. It's not, because if they know that I don't
like weed.
No, because when I say I don't like to be around it, I will literally remove myself from that while you do what you do. And then after that, we can reconvene. But if it's an instance where you're like, oh, like, can I smoke in the car? Okay. And I say no, then that is what it is. But, you know, if you just do it without asking me, am I okay with it? Then that's different. That would cause an argument. That's right there. Just ask me if I'm okay with it. If it's something you know I don't like, just ask the question. And that's really all it is.
So if you don't like it and I ask you and you say yes, then you defeating your purpose and you say you don't like it. If I'm saying let's drive from New Orleans to Atlanta, and then in the middle of the car, I'm like, oh, you know what? I can't take it. I got to smoke one. And you like, oh, okay, it's fine. You see what I'm saying? You're bound.
That's a 6-hour drive.
I think that's the real issue is the point of when it becomes, oh, I can't take it, I gotta smoke. You don't got to smoke this. That's
and it's
where it's
also
a red flag.
It's also a thing of compromise
too much of a thing to where you need it. Like you can't eat, you can't think, you can't sleep without weed, without alcohol, without whatever it is. That's when it becomes a red flag because it's taking over. It's getting between me and you now. You can't even be around me without weed. So weed is your relationship. That's exactly
right. So, that's the real problem.
And it also like the questions that he asked, like, okay, like if we're on a ride from New Orleans to Atlanta, for one, that's a 6-hour, 7-hour ride. If you feel like you got to smoke, okay, maybe I could compromise for that. But then, like Devin said, that's an issue. You're addicted to it. You can't wait this long, not even wait till we get to a pit stop for you to sit down and smoke. Like, that's when it becomes an issue. Maybe it might turn into a short conversation. It won't be an argument, but it'll be something that I bring to your attention because it's an issue. It's a problem. You need help.
That's why I'm worried about you, sister. I'm going to pray for you.
That's why I just separate myself from that situation as a whole, because I don't want to have to deal with none of that. I don't want to have to go in the car and, you know, have to compromise. I don't want to compromise. I don't want you to smoke. Don't do it. So I just don't even like get in that situation.
I want to say my red flag. Mine's is when women, for me, but for the ladies, men, when you don't know how to handle yourself out in public, like as if you're too drunk, or it's like every time we go out, it's an issue with somebody, or just things of that nature. So that's a red flag for me.
I would say my red flag is if they need you, or they always got something that they need in the moment. Like, man, like go get out the mud. Like, don't ask me for, like, you can ask me for stuff, but if you always asking for me for something, like something wrong with you, man. Like, go get it yourself, please.
Go get it out the mud. It's crazy.
Give me some wings, Darius. I need some wings. Darius, I need you to come over here and hang out with me. Darius, I need a Jamba Juice. Darius.
That's not it.
Facts. My red flag.
I was just gonna say my red flag is if you are not progressing. If I always got something going on, and I always got something going on. I'm doing something, and you're not progressing at all. You're always sitting in the house smoking weed, doing nothing. You're not, you're not in school. You're not working. Or even if you are working, you're okay with being stagnant. That's a red flag for me.
Hey, I like that, Ken. I'm the same way. I like that. Don't be sitting around. If I'm progressing, you got to progress. The other thing I wanted to say is let's talk about, because I see
Hold
Rico.
on. We're not even done
Wait,
yet.
we're not done with the red flags yet.
Go ahead, Seth.
Dang, John. Look, my red flag would be just how you talk to me for real. Like if I see you, it's some females out there that like to use the little B word, like slang that around too much and stuff. If you call me that off the rip, like I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't play that word. I don't even want to talk to you no more for real. Like that's not how I operate. Also, if you start arguments, like I don't like arguing. So like if you trying to like be a little toxic and stuff, then I can't deal with that.
Okay, mine would be white lies, because I feel like I'm one of the most understanding people, because I really just don't care. And you can tell me what it is, what it ain't. You can tell me anything. I'll probably, even if it's bad, I probably wouldn't care for real, because you told me. If I find out it's a lie, that's my biggest pet peeve. Do not lie to me. So it would be white lies, because those lead to bigger lies.
So Deja, when you meet dudes or you meet whoever, first thing you be like is, hey, tell me the truth, everything. I can deal with it. Do you do that?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
I'd be like, what's one thing you need, like, out of anything? And if they ask me, I'll be like, honesty over anything, honesty.
Tony, what's your red flags, Tony?
My red flags is with me being a single mom. If you don't ask about my kids and you know that I'm a mom, that's a problem for me. All right, like if you come over my house and you see my trash can is overflowing, you should go straight to my trash can and take it out without me asking.
But wait, that's also a problem though. Why am I coming over your house and your trash can is full? You should have took that out before you.
No, hold on, D, hold on. First of all, I'm a single mother, so I do that every day, all the time. But I said, if you're coming over and it just so happened overflowing, and you walk yourself in here and you see that, you should take that and just get in it. No, like I said, I do that all the time when you're not here. So
it's hypothetical. It's hypothetical.
Man, I'm just saying, if she got kids,
they trying to gang up
should
on
be
me.
doing it too. Your kids should be me to the punch.
What if her kids is young? You like
okay? If the kids is young, it's fine. But if your kids
and they are. They 6 and they're how old are they? 7 and 9. But my son does take the trash out already.
Okay, I see your
but that's you asked about my red flags. I'm giving you my red flags.
I want to get into that question that was on the screen.
Tony says she want a mind reader.
The question was, why don't girls like good guys or some of that nature? So I want y'all to answer that.
Personally,
there it is.
I love a gentleman. I could not stand somebody that calls women out their name, someone that's just utterly disrespectful, or someone that don't really got a good relationship with their mom. Like that's the first thing I look at, or how they interact with women and stuff like that. It's just a turn off. Like what? No.
I feel like that dynamic right there comes from a lot of women being traumatized earlier on. So, for example, like I have family members who personally go for men who are basically bums. They don't do anything for themselves because they haven't had the best run-in with men in the past. Me personally, I don't like men like that. I love gentlemen. Somebody like I don't want anyone who isn't doing anything with themselves. I would personally like a college educated man. If you're not college educated, then at least somebody who's at the same stature that my mind is at. Education is key in my eyes. So I'm not one of those ones that don't like good guys. So
I gotta watch out for you, Sante. I gotta watch out for you, Sante. Them smooth operators, they gonna get you. I gotta watch out for you. Them smooth operators, they gonna get you. I gotta watch out for you. I'm gonna break you.
Look. Santi.
Okay, Santi, I'm sorry. Sante,
Yes.
Santi, okay. Watch out for them
But
smooth operators, okay? Because them smooth
I
operators, they gonna
what
get you.
what you mean by
Get
that?
her name
Elaborate.
right.
Elaborate, because I might got a rebuttal for you.
Okay,
Because
because
you
I
gotta give
think
my
I know a
process a
lot of
little
young
better.
educated, dudes with master's degrees, and they like young ladies who think like that. Sometimes they run their game on an educational level too and get them. Because
So
once you
me coming
exclude yourself from everything, you don't know. You know what I mean? You start putting yourself in boxes, and that's why I tell these young ladies: don't put yourself in a box. Just because a person doesn't
so
have a college educated degree doesn't mean they're not the person for you. And
when
sometimes
I
you
say
get the college
this,
degree, they'll get you too, just as fast.
look, and I had said, like, even if you're not educated, just as long, you don't have to be college educated, but educated. But when I say this, it's for personal preference, because I personally see both sides. Like, the dynamic in my family is very, very large, and I've seen both men on both sides. So I know how some men are, I know how the other men are, and I personally know what I want for myself. So I don't think I'm too far out the woods to where a man could just run game on me. Like, I'm very, very much on game with a lot of stuff.
So, what age do you want to get married, Sante?
I Santi again. I'm sorry.
Santi.
Thank you. I actually, the preference that I have for marriage is between I say 26 and like 32, between that range. I don't want to get married too early, but I also want to get married in enough time to where um, I'm not too old when I have my kids, because women are on a time bomb when it comes to pregnancy and stuff after a certain age. But I digress. But yeah, 26 and 32, around that time.
All right.
And back to the original question, I think a lot of the time, well, me personally, I want a gentleman. I want somebody, like I said, to open up the door for me, that I feel like is not going to call me out of my name. That's just a regular gentleman. However, a lot of the bad boy stuff comes from women, or me personally. I don't want to go out and I feel like I can't be protected. I feel like I'm going out and somebody could punk you out your shoes, my shoes, whatever the case is. Like, that shouldn't be able to happen. I want to feel like we go out, something happened, and you got me type situation, to where it's not like you're a bum and you're a bad boy or whatever, however it was phrased, but you are a gentleman. However, you can still take care of me if need be. So that's where that is a little bit.
I'm basically someone who can
Kiddo wants the
code
corporate
switch.
thug. Look, Kiddo wants the corporate thug.
Like, if you can code switch, like, just knowing when it's appropriate to act that way. You don't always have to be hard body all the time, but if need be, like, just knowing that you could do that, then that's fine.
I 100% agree with Kendall. Not gonna lie. I don't want to be able to punk you. I'm not gonna say I'm the nicest and I'm not super hard, but I don't want to be able to punk you. And I don't want you to be able to be punked, period. By anybody. You better know how to stand up for yourself, stand up for me. And because I can't be the only one standing up for us. I agree with Kendall. You have to have my back just like I got yours. Or if I'm stepping on you, it's a problem. That's a red flag. If you
Because
too
if I
far.
can step on you, somebody else can step on you.
That's
Honestly.
right.
Devin, what you got to say about that, Devin?
Well, I ain't getting stepped on, so I don't know. I can't speak for that group.
But then again, I don't do jail, so I need somebody in the middle. Like, you're not all the way there, but you also, you got a little education too. You up there, like, business, like, successfully, but you can't be too hood, but you can't be too nerdy.
But
You gotta
I
be
guess
just
And
right.
hood doesn't equal protector either. That's not what I'm
That's
saying. I'm not saying you
It
have to
just
be
means
hood. I'm
word.
saying that you're, like Santi said, you're able to code switch. You're able to do both, and you're not getting punked. That's what I'm saying.
I do think though that our generation really what's the way I can say it? I guess we really like give a lot of energy towards the toxic relationships. Like, for example, Blueface and Krishan, that's her name, I think. Like, that's glorified almost. And Blueface ended up with black eyes. Krishan ended up with bruises and stuff. But that's kind of what people. It seems like that's kind of what people either want or go towards because that's what's popular right now or trending within our generation.
I mean, it's popular, but it's not really what people want. Because honestly, if you look in them shade room comments, everybody's like, "Okay, I don't want to see this no more. That's awful. I hate that they doing that. That's so toxic." Nobody's saying I want to Krishan. Like, I feel like it's popular, but it's not necessarily correct, and everybody knows it's not correct.
But a lot of people do say they want a Krishan. Like I've seen a lot of things in our generation where men want women that would either put their hands on them or yell at them. Like it's actually pretty popular, um, to where they want that toxicity, and it's an issue.
They can have
She
that.
head over heels.
Now that's that new generation stuff. Well, you're not putting your hand on me. The first time you put your hand on me, you're gonna be lucky if I don't punch you back, and then you out. That's it. It's no excuses for a man to put their hand on a woman, and vice versa, because we don't talk about women beating on men too. Like it should be an understanding where you don't have to be physical like that.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
feel like
I
there's
agree.
never
But I don't
it's
want to.
never an excuse. And
I don't want
and
to.
even then, sorry, what were you gonna say, Devin?
I was just gonna say I don't want to limit it to our generation because y'all generation, y'all got Stevie J and what's the girl name?
Jocelyn.
Yeah, Jocelyn, and they just like Blueface and Krishan. So it's y'all too. But I agree with what you said.
No.
And I feel like personally, with how I was raised, my dad didn't even whoop us because he felt like a man should never put his hands on a woman, right? A woman, a girl, a kid, nothing. So I feel like it depends on, honestly, morals. You just know you're never supposed to do that. And a lot of people these days, there's different people that you meet that don't feel that way. They weren't raised like that, and that's sad.
They saying, okay, you guys are saying that it's our generation, but really, if we think about history, it's like y'all men have been putting their hands on a wife. Like y'all was beating y'all
I
wife
think
and y'all was
so,
beating
too.
y'all kids.
Darius, what you got to say about that one?
About what? Men beating their wives? Like, it's wrong. Like, what do you want me to say here?
Wait.
What is your question? What is your actual
I
question?
want to say this. So this is what I want to say. There was a large percentage of men who were abusers in the family. When you looked at domestic violence from a holistic perspective in the early 70s, 80s, 90s, into the early 2000s, there was a larger percentage of men who were the perpetrators of domestic violence. But since 2005, there's been a fast and growing increase of more domestic violence cases from women to men. And again, it's not okay for anyone to put hands on anyone in a relationship, but there is a shift. Okay, there is a shift happening. And again, I blame it on reality shows. I blame it on a lot of the things that we see on social media. But again, domestic violence in general is not okay. And we have to name that. It's not okay, men or women. But I think a lot of women have taken that role of domestic violence because they feel in this world, when you talk about their movement, that they have that right, that authority to do that. So I don't think it's okay for anybody, no matter how bad you are upset. If you catch a dude cheating, whatever, it's not okay. And we have to always put that out there. It's not okay. Even if your partner is doing something wrong, it's not okay. Even if you catch your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever cheating, it's not okay to put your hands on them, period. And that's just something that we got to put out there. So it's definitely not okay.
I agree, and
I
this
agree.
is one of our topics that we got coming up next week. So everybody, y'all should tune into that one too. But I want to kind of take the conversation a little bit more positive. What are some ways that y'all think are ways to like grow and build a healthy relationship? Meaning like communication wise, or you think understanding each other's love languages are a way? Therapy. What are some ways to do that?
I definitely think understanding their love languages plays a big part. That and just communication overall. Like if you don't know how to talk to your friends, if you know how to speak up for yourself, then you're definitely not gonna be able to speak up in a relationship. Um, and with the love languages, yeah, like if your love language is physical touch, your partner should be reciprocating that with you.
With that is also knowing like the person you're dealing with. So if your love language is physical touch, but you're with someone who doesn't like that, just try to meet them in the middle. Um, and also just having those conversations about what both of you would like to see in prior engagements with you guys or future engagements between you guys. So just I really think like with this, the strongest and biggest thing would be communication.
I think with that, like if y'all love languages are so different, y'all probably shouldn't be together, because if I'm trying to cuddle at night, I'm gonna cuddle. If you don't want to cuddle me, I'm like, that's gonna be a problem in the long run.
I agree.
Okay, I feel that. Yeah, you have to like everybody has to understand, not everybody, but the two people in a relationship have to understand each other. Quick little thought that what I just said, two people are y'all. What do y'all think of? What are the words? A relationship where it's 2, 3, 4, and other people within the relationship.
Like poly relationships.
Before we get to polygamy, can I throw my gesture in there
Yeah,
for
go
healthy
ahead.
relationships?
Let John talk, y'all. Let him talk.
I think to have better healthy relationships in the Black community, especially, I really think that we need to have more dating, relationship, mental health support, right? I think we have marriage counselors. I really think we need more dating counselors, because I know from youngers' perspective and from elders, the communication part, right? And really being able to hone in, because I think each of us have our own identity of understanding what we believe is our perspective or what's right. And I think sometimes having that third party to bring in something outside of that realm helps with healthy relationships. And I think we need to start looking at how do we bring dating relationships to really coerce people into a healthy dating, right? Because I think our dating perspectives are basically off what we see, right? Sometimes they're positive experiences, sometimes they're negative experience, sometimes it could be both. But I think really having someone to talk about some of those issues to help bring the community together like that is something that I think we could be more successful in it, right? And I just think that's just something that we're looking at. How do you bring professional folks involved in these relationships to build healthy relationships? Because something you might identify as a red flag might not be a red flag, right? It could be a concern, but it's not necessarily a red flag. And I think in our community, we get tied up in the slogans and these new things popping up, and we just chase to it, right? Everything's a red flag. I hear red flag, everything. You know, it's like if he's late 15 minutes, that's a red flag. So sometimes I think in our community, we can over exaggerate things too. You know what I mean? Not saying that it can't be a red flag, but I just think if we had that overall type of coaching, I think it'd be better for our community, because I think sometimes we need to also be able to, for whatever reason, people are sometimes able to communicate better one-on-one than they are in a group, right? Sometimes you could talk to your mate and it's like some things you want to say, but you're like, well, if I say this, they're gonna get mad or whatever. But if you had that coach where you could like have that one-on-one session with them, have that person that you involved with can have their one-on-one session, and then that person could bring both y'all together, I think that will help bring our relationships definitely stronger in our community. I think we need a lot more of that, because we're finding more and more people are dealing with so many traumas, right? And then you got all these different dynamics with our young folks out here, right? People are younger having children, they're divorcing. Now that's a whole different dynamic. You're trying to raise children with somebody you're not with, you introducing new people, that causes failures in relationships. So it's a number of things that I think we should definitely be pushing for. I would love to see, instead of all the marriage stuff, how do we find dating and relationship therapists and coaches to help, foster those strong, supportive relationships?
I
Yeah.
agree. Oh, go ahead, Kendall.
And I was just gonna say, somebody asked me this week, do you guys think that a relationship where the woman makes more than the man is gonna last? Like if the woman is has a 6-figure job and the man, doesn't make as much money, and in the long run, do you guys think it's gonna last?
Wait.
Absolutely not.
Before we get into that, can I just give my 2 cents on the last thing? I just wanted to say I feel like everyone should know themselves and know what you want and who you are within the relationship before you jump into trying to grow with somebody else. I think that's also one of the good things that can help build up a relationship, is just starting on that basis of having, spend time with yourself, read, I don't know, journalize. You have to listen to music, meditate. You have to do whatever works best for you. But I think learning yourself and knowing what you like and knowing what you don't like is definitely one of those factors that can play a role in growing into a better relationship with somebody else. But go ahead to that question. That's a good question.
I say no. I feel like if a woman make more money than you, she knows she make more money than you, she gonna try to walk all over you. Because what is you really bringing to the table? Because all the women, well, I ain't gonna say all the women won't, but the whole concept of what relationships is based off in traditional viewpoint is a man being a provider. If he ain't providing monetarily, even though that's not everything that a provider needs to do, then she gonna walk over you. And like I've seen it time and time again. Whenever the woman has all the power in the relationship, she does not value that man.
Well,
I
I can
disagree. I
agree.
disagree. I disagree, Darius. I disagree.
I can agree with what you said, but I wouldn't necessarily say that that's the case for everyone. Like if you're dealing with somebody who, for one, when you get into something, you shouldn't be looking for anyone to fully provide anything for you. It should be complementary. So say for instance, you're dealing with a man who you make more money than, it could just be for that amount of time, and you could just be picking up where you know where he slacks at. You could just be like, he could be out of work, and you could just be paying for things until he gets back on his feet. um but it also comes with like, when there are things like that, a lot of men would tend to put themselves down first and would start showing signs of insecurity towards their woman, to where it can make things go downhill, to where I feel like it would become a problem, and that's when women would make that power trip because they see that their man is acting negatively towards them.
I agree
And
100. I agree 100% with you. Go ahead, Kendall.
I was gonna say it also goes back to emotional support. If you see that, like personally, how I said I don't like, I don't like when you're just staying still, staying stagnant. I should be able to help you progress. I should be there emotionally supporting you, physically supporting you, whatever the case is, to where it's like, okay, you're here. Why don't we try? If you don't want to, then that's really you. But you should be working on yourself. You should be trying to move up and figure out life. And I should be there to help you do that. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like it's about work ethic. If the person got work ethic, then that you making more money than the other person shouldn't really matter. If the person got work ethic, got of course not lazy, will get up and grind, go get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like it just depends on the woman and the man and their characteristics. Like the man, he has to be secure, definitely secure within himself and his ego. And the woman can't abuse. She has to know that she can't necessarily put it in his face. Like they shouldn't be getting into it and, well, I do this and I do that and I make this much. But she should know how to withhold that and still be, supportive of her man, even though he makes less. At least he's going to work or, trying to make something shake. But he has to be secure in what he can and can't do.
Definitely. I mean, and the reason why I push back, Darius, I hear this a lot. The reason why I say I don't think it's true, because if you look at the statistics, black women across this country are making almost 10 to 15% times more than black males. I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, I know some women leverage that. But to me, that's just like, you going down to what type of male you are, right? Because I feel like if you're a man and your woman respect you, it doesn't matter about how much money, who makes what, right? If y'all collectively together and y'all really in partnership, I don't think most women are gonna be like throwing that in your face, right? It's like we're a team. If you make more, hey, you get to cover more because you make more, right? If I make more, then I cover more, right? But we in this together. We got an end goal. But I think women who do that are definitely, it's other issues that you have to deal with. I mean, I never got into that. Like, it's not an ego thing for me. If my girl made more money than me, I mean, typically most relationships I've been in, I've always made more money, so I really don't have that experience to say that. But for me, if my girl made more money than me, it wouldn't bother me, right? Because at the end of the day, I know where my place is, right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she makes more money. That level of respect that I'm going to demand as a man is going to be there regardless. So I think sometimes as men, it's more us, because I hear this in the barbershop and I'm around. A lot of brothers, they get insecure if their girl make more than them. And not necessarily that the woman is pushing that agenda on them. They just feel like, oh, she make more money, and it's a thought process, right? At the end of the day, when we talk about relationships together, we should be building, right? Because at the end of the day, the house pot is the house pot, right? It doesn't matter who's making more if we're building together. And I think that's where the trust comes in. That comes with that union, which y'all really believe in and what y'all really saying that y'all in for. And I think that's why I said the vetting, the conversation, making sure that this is the person you with, so y'all on the same page. It doesn't matter. If I pick up all of the bills, it doesn't matter. If I come to you and say I need this, it shouldn't be a problem, right? It's just those type of things. But I do know there's women that do that, try to feel like I'm making any money, I can talk to you anyway. I just think that's just a more of a respect of or the character of the person that it is. For real, that's just my perspective.
Yeah, I think you made a good point too. I agree with what you said, but yeah, that like the phrase of that women who make more money are looking for someone who makes more money than them, or they're looking at the men lesser of. I think that definitely is a real thing. But I agree with everything that you guys have said about it.
Yeah, but let's be honest though. Like, if a woman, say we have a female CEO, like, how many men are you really going to come in contact with that makes more money than you? So you have to be okay with settling for something less, as long as he's making up for that in other ways, like personality wise.
And also with that, like a woman who has that kind of tenure, um, will kind of be looked at as intimidating. So that could, have a lot to do with how men interact with her as well, and how she views those men that interact with her.
And then you also have to think about a woman like that has, a lot of money or whatever the case is. She has to look out for people that want her money, that don't want her for her, but they want her for what she has or what she can bring to the table. Same as the other analogy with, or the other story when it was talking about the 2K, and he wanted her to pay for this, pay for that. She has to watch out for that. So I also think that situation is kind of different. You have to know what you're looking for and know what the red flags are, know what you want in the relationship.
Now, Kendall, you're starting something with me now, Kendall. Okay, because it was a time where men made more money than women. And I'm gonna tell these women out here who listen, they about to come for me, and that's fine. They can come for me. I don't understand what's the big problem with women making more money, helping and give more. Y'all got to watch out for this. It was a time where men made more money than women. Women didn't even work. Men didn't have a problem. They turned their paycheck. They turned their paycheck over to their wives all the time. But now these women make all this money and decisions, and then I gotta watch for men. Like, I'm gonna give y'all an example, okay? Mary J. Blige, when they was going through her divorce, all these women, I was watching Black Twitter, all these women, he's a simp dude. He's over there trying to get money from her. He shouldn't be doing that. And I said, well, how many of y'all women did this to men over the years? I'm getting all of this. Why is it? This is what I'm saying. It's a disconnect, right? Women want to have everything their way and not apply it the other way. You get what I'm saying? Okay, you've been married to this dude. You gave him a lifestyle. Y'all had a lifestyle together. Y'all divorced. Why can't he get that support? Oh, he's a sucker now. He's a simp. He's trying to go after her money. That's not a real man. Why is that? Because if that's the case, then men will say that to women who make more money than women. Oh, we divorced now. You coming after my woman. You broke. You a bum. See, women wouldn't like that. So, I always push back on that because it's like, it's not real to me, right? At the end of the day, this is why I say when we talk about relationship, it's an understanding, especially when you get married. It's a business. Like, at the end of the day, whatever we made together, whether it was you or me. I supported you. I was there, right? So when we walk away, why we can't split up stuff? Why I can't get my benefits? And that's why I think women got to change that mindset, because it's always a problem when the man asks for it, but it's not with the woman. Because I know plenty of men out here that make more money than they girls, and they never say these type of things. But when the girls make more money, oh Lord Jesus, I gotta do what? I gotta pay an extra $20.
So I get what you're saying. I do. I really do. That wasn't really what I was trying to say. I was more saying, if you make more money and the other person is relying on your money going into the relationship, that's a problem. Regardless, I don't care if you make more money or don't make more money. I feel like you should be able to provide for yourself. And if you can't provide for yourself, you shouldn't be in a relationship anyways. You should be focusing on yourself. So I was just saying, when you have a lot of money like that, you have to watch out for the people that, want you because they want your money and they want you to provide for them. It's okay where if it's like you can provide for yourself, but like Santi said, it's complimentary. You guys are helping each other, building each other, whatever the case is. But you shouldn't go into a relationship wanting somebody's money. You should want them.
I agree with you. I make a total sense. But what about this? So what about the man out here? We're in the Bay Area. Everything is expensive. What about that guy who's all his money is tied up to live, right? You just said he had to be able to live. So if my check goes to my mortgage, to my bills, my car, and everything that I need to do. After I pay all of that, I don't have that much money to date you. Is he wrong to go out and date? So you say he can't date because he don't have that? I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Because I think this is another issue. And then we got all of these women out here, it's 30-1, 25-1, whatever the number is. It's a lot more single women than it is men. So the reason why I say this conversation is important, because when I grew up, right, it was women was just like, I didn't want a guy who sold drugs. I didn't want a guy who hung on the streets. I want a guy who have his own place. And he doesn't live with his mother, right? All of this stuff, right? Then guys stepped up and was doing their thing. They had their own house. Now it's the next thing. I had women say, oh, you got to take me out the country every month. Oh, you got to take me traveling. So what I say is I just see women continue to move the goalposts. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying from a man perspective. And this is why I say sometimes our women in the community, they live in a fantasy bubble. They keep moving the goalposts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I always say, I don't know what women want sometimes, because y'all change so much. It's just like, we want a man like this. I want a man like this. Then we get that. Then it's something else.
John, going back to your question, I think that goes back to honesty. If you paid your bills and you only have food, you only have enough money for, maybe your food, not our food. So you just be upfront. If I like you, you might get lucky. I might pay for your food just cause. So you got a little extra money in your pocket.
Oh, but if I you know they're gonna be out there talking about this broke out cat. He can't even take me out to dinner.
If I don't, then it's just like, all right, you can. I got myself, you got you. Like, that's just that.
Honestly though, like from how I was raised, if you don't got it, you shouldn't even go. So it's like, don't make those plans if you know that you can't uphold your end. And it also goes back to the conversation of you inviting me out. If you're inviting me out and you want my time, I kind of have this expectation of you paying for everything. But if you can't, just just be upfront about it and don't wait till the bill comes and be like, oh, well, you got to pay your end. Like,
definitely.
Well, I think it's gonna be more. I think it's gonna be more single guys after this. It's gonna be more single guys because these guys hear this and they never gonna ask you out. Then y'all gonna be saying, "Oh, they never ask." I be like, "Well, I don't want to take you out because if I take you out, I got a cable bill that's due next week." You know what I'm saying? So it's a no-win situation.
But it's good though because that means you're taking care of your business. You're aware of your priorities, and that's fine. If you got a bill coming up or you got something you got to pay for, I'm not even going to ask you to take me out. Or if we want to go out, then maybe I'll offer to pay for it.
I wish I knew some of the people you dated because I want to ask them a few questions.
You do know somebody.
This ain't got nothing to do.
You hear me, John?
I wanted to say about being emotionally.
No. You do know somebody, John. Guess who?
Deja, you messy. Listen,
we're not gonna blast nobody, but I gotta be known because I'm just fascinated. I appreciate her, her perspective. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I'm just telling y'all what my mind is. Sometimes I hear these conversations for these women, and then I talk to the dudes that date them. They're like, "Nah, man, she was acting like this. She was tripping." I told her, it'd be two different dialogues, but it's cool. I'm not trying to blast nobody. I just want to know, is this really true? Because on these conversations, the women be so like, oh, no, I'm open to this. I'm okay. But then the reality be something totally different. So I just want to know. That's all.
I was going to say, I want to bring it back to how one of y'all has said being emotionally available or emotionally competent or something like that. But it's kind of hard to do that as a man when you're worried about providing financially for both two people. So, yeah, I just want to bring that perspective to the table that it's not always as easy to be emotionally available when you're providing for you and somebody else.
And I feel like that kind of goes back into the whole red flag thing too. Because I mean, like if she always broke, that's a red flag to me. Because why you ain't never got no money? Why you ain't got your own set of money to the side? That means that you don't know how to save. You don't know how to money manage. And if you don't know how to money manage, that's going to therefore draw on me. Because if I'm with you, you expecting me to throw out some money on you.
Darius, that's because women don't have to worry about money on dating because every guy wants to take them out. See, if we had that same thing, it wouldn't be a problem. But most men are taking women out. So they have this expectation that a man's going to take me out. When you go out to the bars, right, all the guys buy the girls drinks. You don't see girls buying guys drinks. We'll send them a bottle. We'll send them around. So they just have this expectation. I don't have to spend money on this type of stuff because guys are going to do it.
Definitely. I've seen people go to the club with no wallet. They go like girls don't have to do none of that. They got it real easy when it comes to money financially things. It's easy for y'all.
Especially in the
What
South.
if
Let me
she
tell
just had
you.
Apple Pay?
True.
She
But
ain't going there with
honestly,
no Apple Pay. She going there knowing damn well she gonna get at least
Look,
like three free
listen,
shots.
as transitioning from California to nightlife in New Orleans, you don't need your wallet going out.
talk
Somebody gonna
about it.
see you and want to buy you a drink or buy you some food, whatever, just because you look how you look. Now, that has nothing to do with me. That's their choice. It's not like I'm asking for it. So, yeah.
But as
Sure
you
as hell
get
ain't gonna
older,
turn it down.
you get that experience. You'll find out those guys who buy those free drinks, they'll be stalking you. They'll be around there. Oh, what's up? I can't get your number. I bought you 5 drinks. I'm just telling you, it's something that come with it. And I know when y'all younger, y'all don't even pay attention. But as you get older, you'll find out them dudes gonna have more and more expectations. You know, they're gonna be saying, "Hey, I bought you 5 drinks. I bought you a bottle. I can't get your number." It's a lot that come with it too. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not
And
gonna
then that's
lie.
when you say no, I
I
don't have no
say
phone.
no. I say no to drinks sometimes, depending on who it is. If I don't even want to be bothered with you, I don't want to engage in 5 seconds of a conversation, I'm gonna say no, I don't want your drink because I don't even want to give you this time.
Yeah, I agree. And that goes back to the kind of like all money is not good money. Same thing. All offerings, whatever the case is not necessary. Personally, I bring my wallet when I go out. So it's not the end. Most of the time when I'm going out with my friends. Why are you looking like that, Santi? Most of the time when I go out, I'm going out with my friends. Anyways, so it's not I don't know. I bring my wallet, and I feel like it depends on the person you are. If you're really going out with no wallet, that's crazy. I get the
Do you go
principle.
out with your wallet?
I do. I bring a wallet now. Thank you. Not too much on me. Thank you. And Apple Pay is the thing. It's 2022. I can Apple Pay everywhere except for where I can't.
I
Nia
think
has a
that's
question.
I think that's good. You know, and all I'm saying is this. You know, as men, you know, when we're asking a woman out and things, we should take care of it. I'm not gonna sit there and say that's just how I was raised, right? But I also just want our women to understand because I feel like the reason why a lot of our relationships are failing too, we get into these mode where it's just take, right? And as men, we deserve it. That's why when somebody said the prize, why can't a man be a prize? Like, you know, it's okay. Like, I think we got to change that narrative in our community too. Like, women, you can take your dude out for a date. You can cover the bill sometimes. You can do certain things. I mean, most real men ain't gonna let you do it anyway. But even that gesture, you know what I'm saying? Typically, if I date you, I'm not gonna let you pay the bill. Period. That's just how I was raised. But just to hear you be like, you want me to get it? That's gonna make me feel like, okay, you ain't trying to play me. You ain't just trying to use me. But if every time my engagement with you is transactional, like you got it, you just get up like it's good. Not that I can't do it because I'm not gonna ask you out unless I can do it anyway, but it's just like, come on, like we also have to, like our men out here is just like we getting damaged, right? Like, how do women show love to the man in the community too? And then y'all get mad because these other cultures are doing it. Then y'all get mad. Oh, they all sellouts. They messing with these other races. They doing this. But a lot of those women do cater to their men, right? So when do the men get love? That's all I'm saying.
A lot of it comes from a lot of people in our age group, or just in general, not being taught like the concept of reliance. Like, you don't have to rely on somebody for something all the time. If you know that you could do it yourself, or like just having the option of doing it yourself, it's a good thing. My mom taught me like to not. I shouldn't rely on anyone for anything, and that goes for everything across the board. So just coming into romantic relationships, I'm not gonna put my needs or wants onto you because that's just showing that I'm relying on you for those things, and that's not healthy. That's how a lot of things fail.
And that's how somebody can throw something back in your face too. So if you're with that person, you get in an argument and they like, that's why I pay your bills, that's why I do this, I do that, everything else. That's not healthy. Cause then they stop doing whatever and now you don't have nothing. You shouldn't have to rely on other people for stuff like that.
I agree
Especially if
with
they're not your parents.
I agree with you. Please do not be an Indian giver, okay? All of the women, all of the men in the community listening. If you're going to do something for somebody, do not bring that up when y'all argue, man. That is the worst thing. I swear, that's like the biggest turnoff. Because the first time somebody tell me they did something for me, it's a wrap. My whole experience with you just been ruined. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's a red flag. You're right, Devin. That's a red flag, right? Because at the end of the day, if I buy you something, I don't care how much it costs. I'm never going to throw that in your face because that's what I wanted to do. And a lot of people in our community do that. A lot of young brothers, a lot of young women do that. That is not cool. Like if you can't pay it to just lose it, don't even do it, because a lot of times that really impacts relationships, man. I don't want to hear about it. That's just me. And what it does is, and I'm gonna just let the ladies know before we close out, because I know we got to wrap up. That is the biggest turnoff, because as a man, it makes us hard. And women say, why men are so hard? Because I was like that for a lot of years. When I dated people, I'm like, don't buy me nothing. Not my birthday. I don't want nothing from you. Because that was like the biggest thing that I would deal with. You go through a breakup or you go through something, and then first thing they throw in your mouth, oh, I bought this for you. I took you here. I did this. Hey, I don't want you to buy nothing from me. And what it just burn relationships up, because you meet people and then they do want to do stuff for you. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want nothing because of that trauma. But again, don't be Indian givers in our community. That is the most worst thing you could do. If you're going to do something for somebody out of your heart, just do it because that's the thing that you want to do. Don't hold it against people. Don't ever do that, because that's the fastest way to just ruin a relationship and experience that somebody will have with you. Because then now it's like, if you bring it up like, oh, I went to dinner last time. I paid for it. These are like, I don't never want to go out with you. Like, this is crazy. But just think about it.
Asking for it back is like the worst, biggest turn off.
Right, I hate that. But go ahead, Dev. Go ahead, Dev.
I was gonna say, I think it also goes past like romantic relationships, also like with your friendships and things like that, or even just with anybody. Like, if you're gonna do something for somebody, do it out of love and not out of, I'm doing this for you because I want you to do something for me. So, but go ahead, John. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say we got to wrap up. We are at that time. I know all of the Raider fans are trying to hurry up and end the show because they're mourning right now. They can't get a win, so we understand the Cowboys will lose tomorrow. Our Niners are doing so great right now. We'll see how they go.
Not too much.
But to end the show,
Niners.
Y'all have heard from our young people. I want to give each one of you an opportunity to give some parting words. I want each one of you to give some advice to our adults, because I think our adult relationships are so much worse than y'all's right now. We can't talk about nothing. We can't do nothing. But I want y'all to give some parting words and some advice to the adults of the community and to y'all young people. We're going to start off with Miss Woods.
My parting words would just for everyone to just be true to yourself. This applies to every age group. Know what you can and can't handle, and know what you want for yourself, and don't settle for anything.
All right. Make sure y'all tell them you want, when you meet them, tell the truth. They said be up front. Tell them you want 5 wives and 10 girlfriends. Okay, y'all? Go ahead, David.
My advice and my parting words would just be to keep it playing. Keep it, honesty is key, and also to learn yourself, to know yourself, spend some time growing with yourself before you grow with somebody else. I think it's great to have a good foundation before you build. So, and that goes for my age group above me, below me, for everybody.
All right, Deja.
Thank you to our guests for coming on, and just keep it a buck. Keep it a buck with everything. Just be upfront and honest about any and everything, and then also be open to all types of conversations. Communicate about everything, because really communication is key to a healthy relationship.
Young brothers, Deja open. Just tell her you want 10 wives. 5. Go ahead, dear.
I just want to thank everybody for coming on. Thank you to our guests too, and for tuning in. And some parting words. Just don't lower your standards for nobody. For nobody.
All right, brother Darius.
Don't be afraid. Don't be too defensive. Be willing to meet somebody halfway. Be able to compromise. Like be like stand on what you want, but don't be too headstrong to the point where you can't find happiness at all because the things you want are just so strong.
Darius, like, be submissive. Meet me 50-50 and we're going to have a great life. Go ahead, Kendall.
Just like everybody else said, thank you to the guests. Thank you to everybody watching and commenting along with us. I saw y'all. I would just say, yeah, be honest when you first start a situation. Don't go into something knowing how somebody else feels, and you know that you're not on the same wavelength, same territory. Don't be honest about that. So yeah, that's just what I would say. Honesty is key. Thank you.
Kendall want the corporate thugs, okay? Y'all corporate thugs, that's what Kendall want. All right, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
I just want to say I appreciate the youth for their perspective. I always learn something from y'all each and every time we get on this platform. And then to the community, learn the love language, have conversations, get to know each other before you just dive into it. And yeah, thank you. Go Cowboys. Yay.
Jesus. Help me. Again, y'all, I want to say thanks to the guests, our youth team, for another phenomenal show. When we have these youth conversations, it's always interesting. And yes, I'm the guy that keeps it fun and live and joke around, but these matters are very serious in our community. There's a failure of communication. There's a failure to have understanding in our community, and it is showing in the numbers of the amount of single family homes, the amount of unmarried women and men in our community. We have to fix it. It takes work, and it starts with conversation. You heard from the youth today. Be honest, be up in front, have a conversation. Give them an opportunity to make the choice of what situation that they want to be in. That's what we're going to continue to do, to have both sides of the conversation. It's not always pretty. It's not always the way you like it. Your perspective is yours. My perspective is mine. I don't have to swallow that pill. But again, to heal, we have to talk about it. Relationships is the driving force right now across this country. There are so many podcasts, TV shows. Everything's about relationship. People want love. People want companionship. But we have to find that pathway and that road, how to get there. Sometimes it's having conversations like this. There's an understanding or a misunderstanding about what loves look like. To me, love is what you make it. You and the person that you are involved with, whether it's a man-on-man relationship, a woman-on-woman, or a man-and-woman relationship. A relationship is two folks, two people or more that has to deal with each other. We have to find ways to compromise. We have to find ways to communicate. We have to find, how do we love? How do we be open when there's brokenheartedness, when there's difficult conversations? How do we still pull it out? To all of our therapist coaches, to all of the people that's watching us, marriage therapists, mental health therapists, social workers, how do we put programming together for folks who are getting into relationships, dating? How do we put something together to help them find a way, get through that path so that we can have successful, loving, and bonding relationships in any relationship? There's ups and downs. Things are going to happen. Solidarity is about being there for each other, being there collectively, looking at how we uplift each other. It doesn't matter who makes the most money, who makes the final decision. It's about how do we collectively make impact in our family or in our relationship. It's a lot of work that we got to do. This is not easy. We've had generations and generations of trauma, misleading relationship, cheating. We've had all these things impact our relationship. How do we build? How do we get past the trauma and the hurt to build healthy relationships in our conversations? As they say, sometimes the storm is here. Don't wait till the storm passes. We're going to get out there and dance in the storm, and that's bringing love and humility together. So even in the dark times, even in the times where your relationship is not so good, find a way to have a conversation to improve that relationship. And again, it takes work. It takes us all. When we talk about violence, it's no rights, no wrong. We don't put our hands on each other when we are in difficult situations. We want to make sure that we continue to push positivity in our relationships. Even when it's difficult, even when you're challenged, you're triggered, we keep our hands to ourselves. That's the way we build. To that, I'm just going to say we're going to continue to work. Our youth are doing some amazing conversation. If you want to be a part of it, tune in. Ask the question. It's okay. We got to hear from our young people. For the elders of the community, sometimes the way we was raised is not the right way. Listen to our young people. Sometimes they have different perspective. We are a group, a culture of people that are steady developing, steady changing. You have to get in where you fit in. That's just the name of relationship and dating. You got to get in where you fit in. One thing might work for this person, might not work for you. Don't let social media, don't let reality TV drive you one way or the other of how you feel about the person you with. For all your friends, make sure you keep your relationship sacred. Don't let your friends dictate who you with and who you not with. You and that person have an understanding so that the relationship can continue to grow. With that being said, our next live show is this Tuesday. Another segment of our Hidden Gem show. Y'all probably won't see me because I'm going to be out of town. I think Tony's going to be holding it down next Tuesday and Thursday, or y'all might see me peek in. But every Tuesday, y'all know that's our Hidden Gem segment where we continue to highlight our Black and brown business, our community leaders, and organizations that are doing positive things to impact our community. If you know somebody out there that is doing some amazing work, maybe they're giving back, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a professor, and you would like to nominate them, please go to our website and nominate them so we can get them on as hidden gems in our community, uplift them, and give them their flowers while they living so that we can move our community forward and also connect them with other people that might not know the work that they are doing. Every Thursday is our Educational Thursday, where we will continue intentionally educating our community with information that sometimes our community just don't get. So again, more work, more things to come. I'll see you all next Sunday. We'll have another Sunday conversation as we continue to have the taboo conversation, the stigma conversation. We're going to talk about it. That's what we do here at Both Sides of the Conversation. We go hash it out and we're going to try to figure it out. And sometimes these are just the conversation starters that we need to bring successful things into our community. With that being said, I love you all. It's enough violence going on out there. Do your part to stop the violence. Again, put the guns down. Let's figure out, community, how when we anger and we're going through stuff, how we can have conflict management. It is needed in our community. The number of shootings, the number of killings that are happening right now in our community is unacceptable. And we all have to do our part to make sure we talk to our young folks and folks in the community that we know are highly potential to commit violence in our community. For y'all that liked the conversation last week, that we talked about violence, we're going to have a part 2 tonight. Y'all will see me tonight on a live and free radio with Dr. Marshall. We're going to have part 2 of that conversation as we're going to continue to talk about violence in our community. So if you would like to tune in, check out what's going on, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll be on live and free radio on Facebook. I'll be there with a number of our guests who was there last week. We're going to keep figuring out how we can end this violence in our community, how we can work together in solidarity, and when things pop off in our community, how do we organize as a community to dead these situations and things of that nature. So a lot of work is happening. Again, we're going to keep working. That's our part here at Both Sides of the Conversation, and we're going to do our part. We're going to stay involved and connect with our communities. With that being said, thank our youth team for a phenomenal conversation, doing all that they do here at Both Sides of the Conversation. Thanks to our entire Both Sides of the Conversation for their dedication, their commitment to make sure that our community is impacted with conversations, knowledge, and information. We appreciate you all. That's what it takes, a team of folks, and we have some amazing, amazing folks. To all of our sponsors, to all of the people that send money to help us, we appreciate you. Everybody that's giving back, making sure we have the things that we need to continue these conversations in our conversation. We appreciate you all as well. Again, see you all Tuesday. Have a great evening. Go Niners. And Tony left because them Cowboys is going down tomorrow. Have a great evening, Raider fans. I'm going to bring tissue to all of you this week. All right? All of y'all getting tissue. Keep crying because y'all ain't going to win no time soon. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. Be safe out there. We'll see y'all on Tuesday.